All right, we are live. We'll just wait for a few people to pop on in. Everybody that's starting to trickle in, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Wednesday to you. Thank you for tuning in to What You're Not Gonna Do podcast, where we come to you every Wednesday and Sunday nights with different topics. We'll just wait one more second before we get everything completely started.
It's hump day.
Yes.
Yes. A couple more days to the weekend.
I'm such a grandma.
But while people trickling in, if you already here, go ahead and pour you something nice real quick.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, are you guys ready to go? All right, well, happy Wednesday evening to everybody. This is What You're Not Gonna Do podcast. To my lovely left, I have my co-host,
Jada Fire.
and I am Big Flash. We are coming to you live. We have some very special guests with us. It's like a family affair this evening. So I'm just gonna make my way around. We have Mr. Royal off to the right.
Yeah.
In the middle, we got a Kingulay, Mr. Black Knight himself. He ready, okay? And Mr. Gans. The Gans. The Gans. And if you don't know, you will know tonight, okay? So, first, thanks for coming. You know, thank y'all for being on live. Right.
You know,
Showing up and showing out first.
Yes.
you know, y'all family, so you know, you ask and you shall receive.
Oh, I know that's right.
We love those type of guests.
Okay. Yes. So how are y'all feeling? You know, we can take it around the room. How's your Wednesday going? How you feeling? How's the energy? Tired? Oh, you want to do some jumping jacks? Tired.
Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Alicia.
Well, Wednesday, you know, I'm happy right now. You know, I got my elixir. You know,
All right.
I'm feeling good. It's all good.
That's so funny. Yeah,
How
I'm
about
always
you?
good. I'm always great.
Okay. I know that's right. Always happy.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Hey, Michelle.
How you feeling, Miss Fire?
I'm feeling wonderful.
Okay. Enjoying your Wednesday?
You know, I got some things brewing, you know, I'm really happy about. So
Good.
I'm feeling amazing.
All right. Well, yes, I'm feeling great too. So let's just dive on into it.
Jump on in.
Yes, let's jump on in. So again, we have Mr. Royal. What?
I'm high.
We have Mr. Royal Akingulay again with us tonight. We are going to be talking about music, some of the backstories, and the biggest topic of discussion right now within the music is R&B dead? Which personally I think it's not. I don't know where did he been, but you know. So yes, let's break into some things. So I want to ask a general question to all three of you, just to kind of get it started.
Okay.
What was that first time or that first song you heard that made you really fall in love with music? Like, what was that moment where you were like, yes, this is what I like to do? We can start with the story and make our way down.
All right, for me, oh man, it was around 2000, year 2000, 2001, maybe 99, right in that area when it was No Limit was really, you know what I'm saying, like taking over and everything like that. So it was mystical. Mystical man right there.
Okay.
I heard that and it was just like, you know what? I like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling this. I'm gonna listen to this every day. So that was like literally the first CD. I was like, yo, Ma, I need this. They got it in the non-cussing version. My mom,
The edited version,
right? She grew up in the church, so she didn't like me listening to anything that had a lot of cussing or things in it she didn't quite understand at the time. So, I was lucky enough to grab my hands on one, and yeah, that was it. So yeah, that was the first time I knew it was like, you know what, I'm really in love with music. Even though I played the drums growing up, but that was really the first time I was like, I'm in love with music.
Okay. Now, what about you?
Mine's a little bit different. Mine's a little bit more personal. The first time I fell in love with music was hearing my mom and my auntie sing together in church. And then on the flip side, my dad played lead guitar for a bunch of, as I was growing up as a baby, he played lead guitar for a bunch of groups. Manic Star, Dramatics, Parliament Funkadelic. He even went on the road with Prince at the time. So just hearing him around the house, just playing old records and playing his guitar to it, like that's how I just fell in love. Before I even knew who artist was, I just knew that I would love this song. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I fell in love.
Like just the whole beat, the creation, the different noise.
And it was crazy because
comes together.
Everything that my mom side of the family did was straight gospel. And then my pop was like straight like funk rock. You know what I'm saying? So I had best of both worlds.
Right.
Just grew up around music.
Okay. What about you?
For me, my mom's, she had me in church, and I wasn't necessarily a big fan of the church music, but I loved the drums. So she bought me some drums when I was 5, and I started playing drums at the church. So that was my first kind of like love for music, even though it wasn't like music in its totality as far as singing and anything like that. First, as far as like artistically, musical artists to really put that impression on me would be Michael Jackson. So of course the Thriller album. But I didn't like singing, so it wasn't enough to make me want to do music. I just started playing the drums. But when Run DMC first came out and they dropped It's Like That, just the sound of it,
That's the way
it just changed my life. And I remember when I first bought that album with my own money, and I was looking at how they looked, the B-boy style. I said, I want to be like them. And like that ever since.
Okay. Now, I'm glad that you all mentioned the backstory behind church, because all of you have some type of like background when it comes to the church or gospel or things like that. So, but when I saw Mr. Royal and yes, both of you were in drums at church. You even, okay, well, I thought maybe the guitar started, But again, yes. So that backstory behind like being in the church and starting with the drums, what was it about that drum sound that made you want to say, you know what, let me jump in? Or did you have a natural ear for it? Or
Kids, I think, I don't know how old they were when they started. I was like 5. For me, they was loud.
They loud.
Mm-hmm.
All of them clap.
Exactly.
And then, when you're in church and as a youngster, and you playing the drums and you see everybody is rocking, you like the conductor. Even though you got the choir director, even though you got the person doing the lead of the singing, without that beat, especially when they get the shout. I remember one time when I got older, I was playing drums at a cozy church. And they were shouting for like 45 minutes straight. Bam. And then this one guy, he was like a protege. He's like, man, let me get something. So when you lead drummer, you always got your protege. They want to get a taste. So he playing, so I let him jump on, and he couldn't keep that time. And he skipped the beat. The mothers and everything, they were shouting, and they looked at me like, you better get back on the drums.
They definitely will do that.
They was not playing.
Sure.
They probably want to pinch you when it was over with.
Right. Like, hold on.
When you're in church, they don't whoop you, they pinch you.
Oh, God. And those pictures stay forever. It feels like. I would rather get a whooping than a pinch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that's pretty, I think that's a big deal. I feel like a lot of people really find that original love for the sound of music in church. Something about church that kind of gets it started, or at least,
Yeah.
that spiritual, that gospel, that end of things.
Oh,
So I think that's pretty cool. You guys started there. Now, what other instruments do you guys all play? Mr. Orr, is there another instrument besides drums that you dive into, or that you would like to look into?
I dabble in the clarinet, the violin. Say no.
I played the clarinet. I played the clarinet.
Like what?
I played the clarinet.
No.
Fire on
Not-
there. We gotta
It
let
is not easy either.
Not at all. Not at all. I have mad respect for everybody else that play any other instrument. I dabble in the keys, the organ or the piano, things like that. I dabble in that. Just now actually starting to actually understand how, the keys are played and, different things like that. But mainly forever it was the drums. My pops, he was a pastor, so he was like, you playing the drums. I just, I didn't want to get a whooping, so it was like, all right, I'm playing the drums. So, you can.
What about you? Because you also touch on multiple instruments yourself.
Mainly keys.
Okay.
The drums and keys, and my newfound friend, the talk box. That's my thing now. I dibble on the bass a little bit, but that's not really my thing. My main two instruments are drums and keys.
Okay. Now, did the keys come from playing by ear, or did you take lessons?
Here.
Ear.
Yeah.
Okay. What about yourself?
So for me, I mentioned my mother earlier. My mother had a piano that she had bought. And she didn't play, so I don't know why she bought this piano, but it was in the house.
It looked nice.
My dad still has a piano right now. My mom's had passed away a couple years ago, so my dad, he still has a piano. And me and my cousin, we were like brother and sister. I don't know, I was probably like 10, and we used to take a tape recorder, just get us a little blank tape, 60-minute tape, hit record, and she would play the bass notes, and I would play the higher notes on the keys, and we would make kind of like classical music.
Okay.
And that was kind of like my first self-taught experience of learning notes and stuff like that. Even though I didn't technically know what A and C and B and E and what a flat was and a minor, I didn't understand chords, but I learned melodies and composing stuff. Like
On the
that.
piano.
On the piano.
See, that's why I wish I would have went through because I had piano lessons for class. That was one of my last period in high school. People don't go to their last period, so I missed my whole piano, the whole thing. I went to some of it, but not how I wanted to retain the knowledge of that, the keys and the notes and how to read the music and all that. I didn't stay long enough for that, but I really regret that because I always loved playing that piano.
Hey, but you know what's crazy? That what you said, people don't go to last period. Nobody but band heads go to last period. Band heads, we skip the whole day and make sure we there 8 hours for dinner. That's
We ain't missing this.
That's the truth because we used to go with Joy and them up to Finney. Before we even went to Finney, we was up at Finney in a little band rehearsals and all that stuff because Joy and them used to be in the band.
Okay.
So before we even went there, we was like in eighth grade. They was always up there, like literally. At the end of the day, like he said.
Wow.
That was the story of my life.
Be at home the whole day and then you go to school for the band part.
Cody and Ray.
See, you're better than me. When I was young, I was dead into piano for whatever reason. People were like, "Oh yeah, then you have one fingers, you'll be great." And I did it for a whole year. My parents bought a keyboard, and I went to these lessons, everything. And it was after a whole year, I said, "I'm still doing."
So you don't remember nothing
here and there? Not as much as I should. No, because after that year, I said, you know what? I'm still not playing no songs that I like to listen to on the radio on the keyboard. I'm still doing these little
Twinkle,
twinkle, little star type of songs, and I'm like, I'm ready to move my fingers around. Show me how to do this.
Man, my pops had me go to piano class, and I think I went like 3 times and straight told him like, nah, I'm gonna play the drums. Like it's not hype enough for me.
Right.
You know,
His dad is the reason that I play the drum.
Really? So both of you kind of have that same.
His dad is my goddad.
Okay.
So that's why I'm the little big brother, because this nigga is clearly bigger than me. But you know, his dad at the time before bro was born was the drummer at our family church.
Okay.
And I used to sit there with him, like literally behind the drums and watch him play at the age of like 2 all the way to like 7, to where he started just passing me the sticks. And before I actually started playing, he used to sit me on his leg. And actually, me in church playing, but I had the sticks. And he had to do the kick drum because I was too short to reach the kick. And then when he became a deacon in the church, you know, he became a man of the cloth. Right. He started to sit in the pulpit, and I became the church drummer.
Okay.
And then, you know, once I jiggled off and got into my own thing, he eventually got his own church. And then bro started playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
instead of being on his lap, I would stand up because I was too short. So I would stand up and hit the kick drum and do that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. Now,
Yeah, I was standing. He was like, you know what I'm saying? No. I'm like, no, I don't want to sit on your lap. I want to sit on your lap. Because you loud. You want to have a mic and have me sit on your lap at the same time. You're talking about, yes! Yeah. Like, you in my ear. Like, no, go. I'll stand up. I'll stand up. I got my own little 1-2. I can keep up beat with slow it down. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, Jens, I do have a question for you. Now, you evolved into learning your different melodies by playing the piano, and you had pretty much that natural ear for music. You obtained a nickname over time as the pioneer when it comes to music. Now, how did that overall happen for you?
Heavily into hip hop. And it was crazy because initially when I got into producing hip hop, so I wasn't really doing no R&B, just straight hip hop. Okay. I was listening to what I was hearing on the radio and trying to mimic it. So I thought these producers was playing all this stuff. I didn't know that they were sampling James Brown and George Clinton and Isaac Hayes and stuff like that. It wasn't until I started producing when I was 15. So it wasn't until I was almost 18 years old that I found out about sampling by going to another producer's house, and he was just playing music for each other. He started playing all these records that I had heard. And I said, you didn't do that beat, that's so-and-so beat. And then he pulled out this thing called Ultimate Beats and Collections. It was like 30-something albums of all these records that back in the 90s, early 90s, all the hip artists were sampling from. And I was like, wow. So learning how to sample and doing that kind of was really like my main thing. And I wanted to, because the music had got dull as far as like, because they were sampling the same stuff over and over. People even said hip hop was gonna die because they haven't got nothing else to sample. So I started like dabbing into like different countries, different styles of music, whatever just sounded different from what anybody else was doing, sampling jazz opposed to soul music. So a lot of forms of hip hop that was coming out, other producers came across this stuff too, but locally in Detroit, guys looked at me, it's like, dang, Gans was doing that 3-4 years ago. You know, Gans, before Busta Rhymes came out with A-Rap music, I was sampling Arabic music probably 8 years before that. You know, the trap soul style, you know, that was an experimentation. One day I took an old Bobby Valentino record, chopped it up, and played some keys over it, and then made a melody, and then had a singer sing over it. And see, nobody was doing that at that time. So I was doing that probably 10 years before the trap soul came out. But I told one of my proteges at the time, I said, this is going to be the next wave of music where people are going to start taking 90s hip hop records, filtering out the vocals down, playing some chords, some hip hop drums, and singing over it, watching, and that's what it became.
Because you pretty much you were one of the first, especially within the city, to really start the whole sampling game, like before Jay Dilla versus where and Kanye, because he kind of like bit off of Jay Dilla and how he developed his.
Yeah, and I would never say, them guys again. You can't. I think when it comes to creativity, there's so many people, so many creative people that somebody's going to create. If you create something. Let's say if you didn't exist, somebody would create it. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know when Kanye was doing like the stuff he was doing for Jay-Z. But again, I was sampling everything.
Right.
So everything that people were coming out with, I was already doing it before it became popular. So the people who knew me around the city, that's why they was calling me like before my time or a pioneer or saying, man, somebody must have got one of your BCDs because that sounds just like you 4 years ago.
Right. And even Proof from D12, they always gave you that extra vouch when he made it bigger. Like you were one of those main ones that started as well. Yeah. How did that, relationship kind of form?
I met Proof when I was like 16 through another mutual acquaintance. And then we didn't really get super close initially, but we got closer like right before Eminem got signed. Because technically I was working at a shoe store. I was managing one. And so Proof's kid's mother was working for him. So then we started seeing each other every day. So then it was like, well, we know each other back when we were 16. We might as well start recording together, doing stuff like that. And so then he got to hear a lot of the music, a lot of my ideas and stuff like that. So yeah, he was interviewed by some magazine. This was after him got signed. And he was around Dre and a lot of different producers. And they asked me, just a question. You come from Detroit, you being a, battle rapper, who's your top producers now? I just been around Dre. And he said, I'm just gonna shock. He said, but to me, and I know, he said, Dre, Jay Dilla, Pete Rock, and this guy named James.
Right. Now,
man, that's an amazing story right there. That's like being tied to Detroit, legendaries,
No, that's an amazing thing because, especially around that time, we didn't really have too many people really popping out from Detroit. Exactly. I mean, at the most, Slum Village made their way, of course. Different people. Eminem was really that main person at that time for Detroit to pop out like that. So just to even have that, that's awesome.
They always say the person that does it first never gets the recognition.
Oh, of course, right. But they set the tone.
Yeah. So you humbly saying that Gans is the soldier boy in Detroit.
Man, Gans is true, bro.
He's the originator. He's the one that started it, and everybody took it and made it their own. But he's the one that did it, right?
Out of my whole career, outside of my dad, I've had 3 producers. Out of my dad, I've had Chop the Boss, Mr. Royal, and Gans. And the confirmation for me, I knew when I met him and we started working, that he brought something different out of me. And he took what I did to another level. But the confirmation for it for me was because producers are competitive. So when Chop heard what me and Gans did together, and when Mr. Royal heard me and Gans did together, and they both said, "You found your guy, bro." I just knew he was just that guy.
Simple. Yeah. Now, how did you all meet? Now, you two are family. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, how did Gans come into the mix as well?
Story,
yeah, So what's the story behind it?
Yeah, go ahead. Hold on. Let me grab my drink and turn.
We'll take a quick sip. Right.
You see, he had to get some water on this one, bro.
So, I'm driving my niece way out somewhere far. And I'm hella tired. hella sleepy, but I know she got to get back to where she need to go. So I tell my second oldest son and my oldest daughter to ride with me. We ride all the way out there, get there, fine, cool. Hey, coming back home. And I'm almost home. Like, I'm tired, but I'm almost home. I'm like, literally, like, on 8 Mile and, like, almost, like, Ryan or Mount or something. So I'm literally right up the street from where I stay. And for some reason, eyelids just got heavy. And I'm like, now, mind you, I've never had a car accident in my life. So I ended up dozing off. And all I hear is, Dad, Dad, Dad. I woke up, opened my eyes, and I hit the brake. And my van just kept,
Oh no.
bow, hit the back of this man's car. So I'm like, oh. So immediately, the funny part, the chaos out of everything is, everybody knows that both of my sons are super spiritual. So my son immediately like, oh God, protect us, Jesus, protect us, Lord, protect us. We on the east side, we don't know what this man gonna do. He started praying. So my daughter like, oh my God, we gotta pull over and see if everybody all right. So I'm like, of course. So I pulled over, we pulled into the lot. He gets gas. So I immediately hop out the car, and I'm like, hey, look, man. He like, what? He looking confused. Like, what happened? Like, I'm sitting at a red light. What happened? So I'm like, bro, I ain't even about to lie to you, man. That's been a long day. I'm super tired. Ended up dozing off. Woke up to my kids screaming. I hit the back of the car. No, let's exchange information. Whatever damages, I'm gonna take care of it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we need to do, I'm gonna take care of it. So he gave me, we exchanged numbers.
Oh, was it bad?
No.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
You're right. That's
That's what everybody want to know.
Put it like this.
Mess his car up.
Right.
Right.
My van had more damage than his car.
Okay.
My van still got a crooked bumper. But we exchanged numbers, and I think I kind of surprised him because when he called me, it was like yeah, so it ain't no thing, it's gonna be this much. You could just send me such and such. I said, all right, bet. So like maybe 5-10 minutes later, I cash out what he asked for. And after I cashed out, me, I'm promoting my music, I'm promoting myself. I send on my music links like, yeah man, yo, again I apologize, but also if you like music, you know what I'm saying, I'm an artist, you know what I'm saying, check me out.
Sent your son.
Oh yeah, I sent AJ's.
Okay.
At that time I was working on, I was with my son doing music.
That's all right.
He had just dropped his album.
Yep, yeah, I just dropped Start Over Now.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent it to him. And he texted me back like, oh yeah, at the time, this is the crazy thing. He wasn't doing me. He was like, yeah, man. I'm in the music. You know what I'm saying? But, I'm going to check it out. So then he started sending me some stuff that he did from back in the day. And I'm like, yo, man, he was doing this back then. I know he got something crazy now.
Right.
But he wasn't really doing nothing. So we kept in contact. And then, I was like, he was like, I think I'm going to start getting back into the music. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, I started working on my daughter's album.
Right.
We actually started working on my daughter's album. So we trying to figure out her sound and figure out, because if anybody knows my daughter, she's picky. She's like,
man.
So she got a certain type of, sound that she's looking for. She got a vibe that she wanted or whatever. And so me and Ralph producing like crazy for it. We taking her to different producers so she can, people that we know. I took her to his house right after he got to get back into it.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately she picked like maybe 12, 13 tracks.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then after she did those, she picked some more. And so, me and Ralph was like, Our job easy. Like, he can do the whole album if you want to. You know what I'm saying? So,
Now, is this chapter 1 and chapter 2?
he did chapter 1 and chapter 2.
Okay.
Ralph got what, 2 tracks?
Yeah, a couple tracks on chapter 1.
I literally didn't produce on that album at all.
I was about to say, you didn't even get.
No, I didn't. But see, the thing is I was doing vocal arrangements and
Right.
helping her with her pen game and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I wasn't really pressed about the production part. But in the process of him doing stuff like that for her, he would send me tracks frequently, like how this sound. I'm like, bro, I don't even want to do this one, so you should let me do something on this. You know what I'm saying? He was like, well, let me
Nah,
see.
he keep missing some parts.
Yeah. Well, fill us in.
Here we go.
Fill us in.
Here we go.
All right, so let's backtrack. So initially, when we first met, our first connection was our sons, because my son is Division 2.
Okay.
So when he sent me his son's link, I said, "Hey, my son is Division 2. Check him out." So that was the initial thing. Because I wasn't thinking about that. I had took a little break. I wasn't thinking about doing the music, right? So what ended up happening was probably a week, maybe 2 weeks later, I just woke up. Now we hadn't talked before. I woke up and I was like, "I'm coming back for real." Because I had to flirt with coming back. But I didn't have the drive and fire. And so how I knew I was serious is I went on Sweetwater, bought a new MP, went to Guitar Center, bought some speakers, bought me an auto interface, bought me a MIDI controller. So that's all I really needed initially to get started. So
Drop the bag.
when I did
Okay.
Right. He said
Anything
it
I
like
can
it was-
charge
He said it like it was like $10, $12.
no. I got it on credit. So a lot of stuff I got on credit. So it wasn't like I just cashed it up. So once I bought the equipment, then I reached back out to him. I said, "Hey man, I'm thinking about getting back into it." I said, "What else are you working on?" Because I already knew his son had just put out the gospel. He said, "Well, I'm working on my right now." I said, "Man, if you give me a couple of weeks to learn the computer and learn this new stuff that's out." I said, "But I'd like to let y'all hear some stuff." So a couple of weeks went by, I still wasn't ready. I said, "How's things coming on?" He said, "We still working, man. We still working." I said, "Well, I need probably like another week." And so another week went by. And I said, I don't really want to just send you some pieces. I said, "Why don't y'all come over? Let's vibe." So I had strategically put out, because he told me she was on like a Summer Walker type vibe. So I had strategically had some tracks that I thought she would like that was like that. But then I had some other stuff too. So they come over. I play the first track. She like. I play the second one. She like. I said, "Dang, my head." I'm thinking, I'm flopping. I said, because I had the ones that I thought she for sure would like. I was holding them. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna hit them later. So because I didn't want to just run out. So I said, "All right, I gotta hit it with one that I know for sure work." So I hit it with one of my ones that I really thought was fun. And I remember both of them did this. So then I started getting some confidence. I said, "Okay." So then I just started playing stuff off script, and it taught me something coming back that you can't never preconceive what somebody gonna like.
Yep.
But she started picking stuff. "I like that one." I said, "You like that one?" And then what happened with him is it was a couple that she didn't pick that he was like, put that aside, I might do something with that, like that, right? But I hadn't really heard his music and nothing like, we never really talked about him at that time. So now that I'm working with his daughter, we started talking a little bit more, and we started talking about. He was like, we work, we gotta get the business. I said, "Right, we gotta talk about the business and stuff like that." And so what ended up happening was we was talking one day, and he said, "What you been working on?" I said, I got this girl, and she coming through. I did a couple tracks with her." He said, "Let me hear them." I said, "All right, I sent them to you." So I sent them to him, and he was like, "Man, you need to let me do something of this. Even if you don't give it to me, just let me see what I can do with it." I said, "I don't care, man." I said, I ain't the type to tell somebody they can have a track and take it back. So I'll let her hear what you did and then see if she cool with it. But go ahead. So I said to him, it was like 11, 12 o'clock at night. So my first impression of his greatness was at 7 o'clock that next morning, he had both songs done. I had never seen nobody do that. That blew me away. He sent me text. They check your email. So I'm like, well, listen. And the songs was hot too. And I was like, dang.
Okay.
So when I met with the girl, I said, listen, you need to ask him, can you be his feature?
Right.
On the record.
Like,
And
so,
Right.
Right.
Taking you all the way off at this point.
So what ended up happening was after that, when Kasia album, with his daughter album was done, he asked me, he said, man, will you help me do this project called Family Ties? I said, sure. So we started working on that. But I was sending him stuff just randomly, like, hey, check this out. And then he was writing on. Then I had another artist that I was trying to sign, because I had started a record company called Group. So it was an artist I was trying to sign, and then when it came down to doing the paperwork, things just didn't work out. So I had made a few tracks with him that I was like, I said, this can't let you see what he could do with it. And everything I was sending, he was just eating it up, killing it, like that. So after a couple of months, he called me. He said, bro, you know, we got about 12 songs. And this is reminding me of this one of the albums I did, like, what was it, 10 years ago?
It was, at that time, it was 6 years.
6 years ago. He said, it's called Sex Crime. It's got that vibe. He said, so I think I'm going to put the Family Ties out on hold, on pause, and let's do that. Like that. I said, oh, okay. So then at that point is when I went and started listening to his old stuff.
Mhm.
And I listened to Sex Chronicles 1. And I said, hey, man, this is cold. I said,
Sex Chronicles is on.
I said, I don't know if I can make you some stuff as good as this. That's what I told him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sex
All right.
He literally
Sex
thought
Chronicles
himself, he
is
was like,
really
he
good.
was like, man, it's tough. He was like, it's tough, bro. But from the stuff that he was sending me, I told him, like, bro, we about to shit on Sex Chronicles. And that's not to take away how good Sex Chronicles is still.
I was saying, yeah,
Because Sex Chronicles is still like one of my favorite albums. But I knew with him, Sex Chronicles 2 was just going to be that much greater.
that one.
You know what I'm saying? It was going to be more broader. And then you got to think, that was 6 years ago. We 6 years
Like,
past from what I did on Sex Chronicles. So I'm like, Sex Chronicles 2 gonna be crazy. It got to the point to where actually Royal was working on tracks for Sex Chronicles 2 too.
okay.
Vices, we couldn't let go. I had to fight Vices like that, which he produced. But he was like, man, you know what? This is where he stepped into his role. He said, you know what? You and Gans killing it. I'm just gonna mix and master the album. I said, so now you don't produce nothing? He said, I don't need to.
Okay.
Look, I got like a at least a 2-song minimum on the album. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So he did Vices and what was it? Rolling.
Yep.
Vices and Rolling was on there.
No, Vices and not Rolling. Vices and what else did you do on that?
I did Rolling.
Oh,
Rolling is him.
He did Rolling. Oh, you know what? Listen.
Look, they about to fight.
Mr.
We about to fight. Like,
He like,
You
no,
gotta-
I did Rolling.
you gotta understand. We send him so much stuff
Which
that
one? Pierre.
That's Vices.
that's Vices.
Oh, Kissing.
Kissing.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Martell.
yeah.
It's not about kissing.
Huh? Kissing. What was it called?
It's got a different title.
The one with Martell.
Y'all go out and check out
Sex Chronicles 2.
Sex Chronicles 2. He got 98% of the. I got 2, but it got to the point to where it was. This is what he does. I wait. Just like Dan said, he wakes up in the morning and King will send him a text message, check your email. He would do the same thing to me. Hey, just emailed you a song.
The
Like, it's
vampire
this.
himself.
No,
Just
see,
up
no,
all
but
night.
no, it's literally a chain reaction because the system works like this. I get a text on my phone from Gans to say, check your email. I check my email. It's fire.
So then he records.
I immediately go, because
Can't speak on that.
the thing about it is,
Let's do it.
you have some producers that send you something.
Toxic.
Yeah, toxic.
Toxic. Yeah,
Toxic, that's
there
it.
we go.
So you got some producers that are send you something, and you have to sit on it. You have to literally feel the vibe. Then you gotta think of a concept to fit the vibe. Then you gotta write the song. Then you gotta record the song. Then you gotta mix it, right? With me and Gans, all of that is cut out because the chemistry we got is like when he send me the track literally like writes itself.
Okay.
So it's like when he send me the track, it's like plug in the mic and I'm in there. Like I have never written to a Gans track. I have never picked up a pen or had to sit there and think about what I'm gonna write. It's like load up the track, give me the mic, and I'm going in.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I did have a question and I wondered how do you pull your writing when you create a song? Like, is it the sound that you hear first, or are there certain times where you've written out certain things based off of maybe what you've gone through? Or so I'm glad you mentioned that. So how do you know the question?
I haven't written with a pen and a pad and a piece of paper in probably 13 years.
So it's truly by ear.
Yeah, like, because for one, I like to catch the vibe of the track. And for two, I don't like to lose that first feeling that you get when you hear it.
Okay.
So it's like, when I did write with a pen, I would write it and try and learn it and try and recite it. And when I approach the song in the booth, I might remember the words, but that same emotion and passion don't be there as when I first wrote it down. So now I'm finding myself searching for the melody, searching on how I said it, and the phrasing that I use when I said it. But when you go straight in, it's there. You know what I'm saying? And once it's there, you can always, with technology now, you can always go back and fix
Like
what you need to hit. But long as you get that first initial there and drop, you good.
Okay.
So like with Gant, and it's like I said, it's a chain reaction because he'll send me something, check your email. I recorded and mixed it, and I'm texting him, check your email because you got to master this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Now, Mr. Royal,
Yo,
you started in football.
I
That
did.
was your main thing. You said music is cool and all, but I'm gonna be a football player.
That was it.
Now,
Was it.
what made you switch that focus to, you know what, football is cool and all, but let me do this music side?
So music has always been there. Like I said, growing up in the church, playing the drums, played around with producing a little bit, pirating, you know what I'm saying? That means download for all you, young folks. That's downloading an illegal version. You know what I'm saying? Fruity, I had LimeWire. Man, my mama hated me. What's wrong with you? What's wrong? I was like, I got you. Don't worry about it. I think, but yeah, LimeWire, Fruity Loops, trying to make beats and stuff like that. But no, so football was it. That was the end all be all. Ended up gotten hurt.
Okay.
And doing a lot of soul searching. Didn't know what to do. Just started working and was just out here kind of like a zombie. Didn't know what to do. So I got back into after I had my kids. Went in kind of same thing. Came back from working out of town. It was like, I'm about to get me a laptop. I'm about to get me a keyboard. I'm about to get some speakers. I'm about to get all this. Did it all and just jumped right back into it.
Okay.
That's just kind of how it happened. It was really kind of based off of boredom. Really, honestly, I got tired of playing the game. Like the same routine every day. Wake up, go to work.
Ready for change.
You know what I'm saying? Come home. My sons was at that time they was babies. So okay, feed them, put the gate up so they can't leave the room, play the game till they play with their toys, they fall asleep on the floor. And then I'm kind of just up sitting there like, all right, I don't watch the same ESPN play the same episode 100 times. So I don't watch that, I'm still not asleep. So it's like, all right. Let me go ahead and dabble back into the beats, and that's just kind of how it was. Started getting back into it, and it was like, wow, I miss this, and I miss that ability to create, that ability to take just a sound of anything and turn it into something different that people found interesting, that people found that it was nice. And once I didn't really have that much confidence in myself, honestly, when it came to making beats at that time, until me and bro linked back up. And I was like, yeah, check this out. And he was like, yo, this is hard. This is crazy. I was like, what? For real?
I'm just having fun.
Right, like, okay, let me start taking it a little bit more serious. And I did, you know what I'm saying? I started taking it a little bit more serious, getting a little bit better set up, started working with, you know what I'm saying, different people at the time. But yeah, that's kind of how that switch clicked for me. It was really kind of based off of boredom, tired of the same, you know what I'm saying, routine, everyday routine. It was more or less, like I said, just it happened when it needed to.
Right. Now you also dealt with rap. You was rapping at first.
First of all, he's a Jamaican because he devil in everything.
Yeah,
hold on.
Yeah,
Let me break some of them down. Like he mounts his TV up, have chorus.
Right.
Hold on, he'll climb up on the pole and do your cable.
Yeah,
He works for a cable company. Like this man got so many.
Jack of all trades.
Yes.
Jack of all trades.
I call him a Jamaican.
A Jamaican.
A Jamaican.
Yeah.
He do everything. Like
I try to get it in where I can.
security system, security,
Cameras,
personal protection.
Personal protection. Hey, listen, I ain't never lacking, so you know what I'm saying? I'm getting tripping. So, but you know, yes. So I definitely tried rapping. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was like,
but I heard you was pretty good. You gonna drop a quick freestyle?
Yo. No, I ain't.
Okay. I'm not gonna put you on the spot.
No. It was always fun in games, and you know what I'm saying, family members always like, oh, you nice. So then once I actually decided, yo, I'm gonna actually try it for real, it was decent. You know, I will say this, if that was the lane that attracted me most, I probably would have kept trying. I probably would have been able to progress more than that. But I was really attracted to the behind the scenes, the helping somebody else, you know, the production, the mixing and mastering, those type of things. That's what really attracted me, because that being in the limelight, being in the front, being in, you know what I'm saying, what everybody sees, that didn't necessarily make me excited. It was cool. Like, it's cool to hop on tracks here and there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Me and bro be playing around.
Like, he dope though.
Right.
Like, he dope. Like, it's not a lot of rappers that got his flow, and I think that comes because he's a dope producer too. So most dope producer hears good cadences, if that makes sense. Because like both of them produce rappers. And,
right. I saw that, yeah.
And they both produce seasoned rappers. But by them being producers, they be the one that hears, like, bro, no, say it this way, and you need to chop this part up, and because they hear cadences. So when he rap, it's just like butter.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, look.
Now, again, I wanted to touch on something with you, because it was mentioned previously that you were kind of like out of it for a minute. You kind of pushed away. Now, if it's something too personal and you don't want to touch on, it's okay. I was I was told like it was like a passing of a friend. Was it divine? I don't know.
Yeah. So
what
the
kind
artist that I was doing the trap song music for was him.
Okay.
And he was like the person who, as far as an R&B artist, impressed me the most before I met him. Because he was a barber, and literally I could bring a beat to the barbershop, and while I cut hair, he would make a song right there cutting my hair. And the whole barbershop rocking.
Okay.
Never seen nothing like it before in my life. Like, I mean, without hesitation, as soon as it come on, the hook comes instantly. And he's singing. He said, "This gonna be this one right here, man. Oh, somebody record me. All right, yeah, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna finish writing. We're gonna record it like that." So I wanted to come up with something different. So that's what we experimented with the trap song. So He had like, I don't know, 30 songs or something like that. I ain't let nobody hear because I didn't want nobody to steal the sound. And what ended up happening was his brother had broke up with his girlfriend, domestic violence, didn't want to let her go, still had a key to the crib, came home, she had a building house. He shoots at both of them, the dude jumps out the window, but she didn't make it. So her family was like, when they was in court, he got convicted, of course, they was like, well, we might not can't get you to jail, so you took one of ours, we don't take one of yours. And so at this time, mom had transitioned from working at the barbershop to cutting his hair. He had a chair and stuff like that. So it was easy access to him. And so they came through and took his life. And so the other thing that ended up happening was my protege, Dre Butters, had
Shout out to Dre Butters.
Shout out to Dre. He erased the files that we did all the trap songs. Came home. He was living with me at the time. I came home one day. He said, "Bro, I gotta tell you something. You're gonna be mad." He said, "I was trying to do something. I made a mistake." And I think he hit the finalize button. I think that when we do a disc, finalize. So when you got this and you finalize, it reformats this and it erases everything that was previously on it. And once you hit it, it ain't no stopping. It's over.
Yeah.
And so at this time too, Fruity Loops was getting real popular, right? And I noticed that production to me had got dumbed down to where guys were just strictly making music about the computer, and it was the stuff that I was doing to create. I was working harder, but computers make it work easier. But at that time, I wasn't ready to embrace technology. I was just looking at it like, wait a minute. How you making beats? He ain't never know how to make a beat. I've been making beats for 10, 12 years. And he's just sitting there wanting to make beats, but not because a computer got everything later. Now he a beat maker. So I just was like, you know what? Got married, started having kids, and the fire was gone for a minute. And it's crazy now because now, the way I feel now, I don't know how to fire it up because it's like,
how did you allow yourself?
Yeah, I didn't leave,
Right. Now, again, everybody that's watching, again, What You Not Gonna Do podcast, we have Mr. Royal, Akinwale, and Gans of Black Knight Music LLC and Groovement Records. So, again, just want to give you guys that quick update. These are the gentlemen we're talking to today. We're getting deeper into the music background and the history of it.
She don't look right at me.
What? I'm sorry. I'm like, it's on my left.
I think your words come out check. That's okay, but it was funny. Yes, we are sitting here just learning about, Akinwale smash into the back.
Smash into the back of the
I can believe it though. He fall asleep doing the dumbest things though. So
Who was that?
damn.
Was that your? It was one of your sons. They was like, who want to listen to action? I'm glad you hit that thing.
Okay. Tay was actually in a band when it happened. That was my son that started praying and calling on Jesus so that
Bless his heart.
Seriously,
bless his heart.
But after we put out Cages 18, chapter 1 and chapter 2, he was like, "Dad, I ain't gonna lie, man. I don't never want to get in no accident, but I'm glad you ran into that. Be cool, like
I forgot that's what happened.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. Until right now, I'm telling you, I forgot all about that.
That
was
just
so long
lets
ago.
you know. That just lets you know, like, you got to think about the chain of events.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Gans himself, at that point, wasn't even making beats.
Right.
He wasn't even a producer at that time. He was a civilian.
They was placed in the same place for a reason.
Seriously, God makes things happen for a reason.
Absolutely. Everything happens
we
for a
used to
reason.
say that all the time because, like, even though she said I fall asleep everywhere, I'm 44 years old and never had a car accident. Like, literally never. this was the first person who car I actually ever hit. So
I mean, it was meant to be. I mean, that's just one of those things.
This
No.
time you just
I got lucky. It was meant.
Excuse me. Now, when it came to Black Knight Music LLC, that you guys created that together?
Well,
Or-
We created.
we created a lot of stuff.
Okay. Nothing wrong with trial and error.
We went
That's like you
from
learn.
QB management.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
once that fell through, I said at that point I kind of felt gas when we took this break because at that point I was like, bro, I'm done trying to put niggas together and trying to ain't nobody on our same page. So he was like, I'm not gonna let you give up, bro. Like you dope. So he started True Royal Music, which was his label. He was like, let's try it this way. I'm gonna run everything. You just be an artist. So I was an artist on True Royal, and that went great for a minute because it was just me and him pretty much doing what we do. We got a studio. Yep, we got a studio. I was in the group called The Gentleman with my brothers Martell and Playboy. Shout out to them.
Yo.
We did, as you know, some incredible music, but it never came out.
Wow.
It never
I only
came
want
out.
to talk about that.
Some of my greatest music was with those guys, and I learned so much vocally and musically from those guys because we all had different problems. And I would tell them all the time, like, man, you niggas will sing me under the table, bro. Like, when I first met them, I was like, man, I'm not singing with y'all, bro. Y'all singers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all
Yeah.
sang.
Man.
But they looked
Check
at
'em
me
out.
like, nigga,
You hitting it too.
ain't nobody writing like you. Ain't nobody about to do these songs like you. Ain't nobody about to arrange these harmonies like you. Like, we might have the greatest voices, but you know what to do with our voices. So they put that in me, and the chemistry, we just worked together. We made some of the greatest music, and he was producing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that necessarily didn't work out for different reasons, and I was just like, you see what I'm saying, bro? I was back at that. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, every time it gets good, it gets bad. Like, I'm kind of over it. So he was like, let's reset. Let's take a break. So we took a break. We took a hiatus. We was chilling. And then I kind of got some motivation back and was like, bro, I think I'm about to put something together. And at that particular time, I didn't tell him exactly what it was. So I started really just getting back into just really trying to put a team together and because at that time I was meeting so many artists that was dope, but they didn't have no guidance. They didn't know what being registered was. They didn't know what, like, it was like they was trying to do everything themselves but doing it all wrong.
Business end was
all tore up. So I was like, I'm gonna start Black Knight Music LLC, bro. And he was like, well, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? This always been my day one. Like, whenever he say let's do something, I'm like, all right, let's do it. Whenever I say do something, he's like, I'm with you. Okay. So this always, like, no matter what transition we went through, he always been with me. So in 2017, I created Black Knight Music LLC.
Yeah.
And we just started going from there. We did a bunch of great projects that's out with different artists, and because of business purposes and the way the artists kind of moved and didn't have management and stuff like that, and didn't want to dedicate themselves to a label per se, didn't want to just handle their business. It was like things didn't work, but it was like we just gonna keep it going, and we started focusing in on just what we had, which was myself, my son, and my daughter. started grinding. Fast forward a little bit, I was back in. He ended up producing my daughter's album right after I had just dropped my son's album. And then after that, we created Sex Chronicles 2, and we've been rocking ever since, smacking niggas over the head with his real R&B.
Okay. I'm going to take a 2-second pause just so Instagram can continue with us.
Okay.
Forgive us.
So then, where did your manager come in at, Terry? When did you?
Terry came in on Gentleman, actually.
Cherry came in actually before Jim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cherry came in to play.
Shout out to Terry.
Terry Martin.
Terry Martin literally came into play before. This is before me and you even linked up, bro. Terry Martin came in when my dad had a live band called Release.
I don't remember that.
And the reason that he created this live band was pretty much for me. He said my son singing, and at that time my daddy old school. He come from Parliament, he played, so he wasn't big on getting the studio and recording records. This is probably where I got my work ethic from, because my daddy recorded me with the live band, and we performed with the live band, and we rehearsed with the live band. So if the drummer mess up from the top, we going over it again. If I hit a wrong note from the top, we going over it again. If he hit a wrong note from the top, we going over it again. It ain't no punch me in. We from top to bottom. We record. We old school. So that kind of like got my pipes up, and Terry literally started booking us for shows. Like we was doing everything from cabarets to weddings to everything. He just started booking us for shows. Terry was the first person to come in and pretty much say, these is what these guys is worth. We had our set price of what we was charging, but Terry would get us more. So my dad just started saying, okay, whatever you get us, you take 10%. You just be our manager. So Terry actually started managing Release first. My dad's band, I was just the lead singer frontman. So when the band broke up, of course I kept going and doing my own thing, and I was just out here. And at the time, Terry we didn't have no agreement, we didn't have no contracts or nothing. He was just looking out for me, making sure that everything was right for me. And
love.
Yeah. And so when I actually started the Black Knight Music LLC, I said I wanted to bring him on to the team just to make sure that the company was protected and the artist that I was working with was protected. So he said, okay, we're going to drop a contract. I'm going to be your manager. Our agreement is this. And he's been managing me ever since. Yeah, so shout out to Terry Martin, man.
Definitely shout out to Terry Martin.
Terry Martin, man.
And he go hard for anybody that he believes in, not just his artists, because he's a promoter too. So Terry Martin then literally showed love to a whole lot of artists.
He definitely showed love to me on my contracts.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that I have, like questions about legally, I can just call him, text him, he telling me what to do.
Yeah, Terry
We always
man.
brainstorming.
Terry the man. Shout out to Terry for sure.
Yes.
The whole team is incredible though. Like, I can honestly say the best thing I
call tattoo.
Yeah, the best thing that we could ever do, like, and we're gonna talk about how we got into that a little bit. I don't know if you got your question set up or whatever, but when Black Knight Music LLC and Groovement Records
I was
came
actually
together,
gonna ask them, like where did Groovement Records come from?
man,
And how did you guys all come together and form as a joint type of situation?
It was kind of seeing the the talent that was all around and the ability to say, listen, I'm good here, you're good here. We vibe together. We like the work ethic. Let's work together.
Okay.
And the crazy part about it is like we had everything that the other one did. So when they came together, it was just like a perfect fit. And then
mesh.
Yeah.
and then it was like everybody instantly connected with somebody.
Okay.
Like it's like as far as our business, Terry and Val together,
She's
we
over
locked
here,
in
y'all
loaded.
can't see her.
Y'all can't see Val, but we locked in like we don't never have. I can say between Terry and Val, I never have to worry about paperwork done incorrectly.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I was to do it, it's probably gonna be some mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But if they own it,
Maybe one or two here and
yeah,
there.
if they own it, I'm good. And then we got, of course, the guest y'all had last week, Miss Karita. She,
Miss Golden Ear.
man,
Mm-hmm.
she dope.
Thank you, Bree.
She dope.
Shout out to Karita.
And then a lot of people,
Definitely.
Yes.
like I say, if you really want to be real, I'm just the nigga you see because I'm. But the mastermind, this guy right here,
Now, was Groovement something that you already kind of had growing on the back end on your own? And how did that go?
So by me taking a break, when I came back, I was telling Val, who was my girl, so we was sharing, I share everything with her. And so I told her, if I come back, I don't want to come back. I'm not trying to be a super producer. I'm not, trying to do that. But I want to leave a legacy,
Right.
And I said, one of the things that I see in Detroit is a lot of artists in disarray, and I'm reading them, like he said earlier, reading on their business. You'd be shocked. I take a long hiatus, and then I come back, and this artist that's been recording forever.
Still
And
got
then they
that
come,
paperwork.
we connect, and I say, okay, who you wrestling with? They don't even be wrestling. That just scratching the surface
right?
of what it is. It's just so many things that they didn't know. So I started Groovement, kind of like because Val, she kind of like just seen the need, and she was like, I got the paperwork for the LLC. I didn't even ask her to do it. She just did it herself, And she said, hey, sign this, sign it. And then I said, okay. So then I said, well, I need to put a team together. So I started reaching out. I knew a couple lawyers. So I asked them would they be interested in practicing entertainment law. So I got them. I had been knowing Karita forever, not knowing that he knew her too. And so I reached out to her. He said, your mama used to work at DTN. I thought about you doing music. And she was like, yeah, but I just never did it. I said, come on, you with me, right?
Right.
And so she got in, and then Val had her part, and then we went and got a couple artists. And so we was just kind of like roll with that. So the initial issue was this. Remember I told you about when I learned about sampling.
Mm-hmm.
So he ended up becoming my partner. So when I came back, I went and got him, and we actually started grooving together, right? So as me and Akile started,
Man, don't you blame us on it.
as me and Akile started, no, I ain't going to. As me and Akile started working a lot, he brought up the possibility of the merger. But I told him initially, I said, well, I don't know how that would work out because then we have to reconstruction. And, so, and it could cause some drama. Let's just wait. Whatever is meant to happen will happen. So then my partner, and my boy, I still love him. For whatever reason, he didn't like some of the things that was going on with me and Kelly. I don't know if because I was doing it for us. You know, I was doing it for Ruben.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like Ruben and Black Knight complement each other. So I said, why wouldn't we? You know what I'm saying? And they never had even met, but I think he did tell somebody, yes, it's all about R&B now. We hip hop producers. And I think that kind of bothered him because he said I can do hip hop, pop, whatever. You know, he was really kind of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And he could do R&B to a certain extent, but not like old school like chord progressions and stuff like that. Because he can't play keys, so it's mostly like we can't make it sound good with a sample, then it wasn't gonna happen. So he felt like I abandoned him, I guess. And so he called me up one day, and I think it was right after the He Said She Said. It was right after the He Said She Said premiere, which was like his soundtrack. He had like 6, 7 songs in the movie.
Just in case y'all ain't hear, he said he said she said he got like 6, 7 songs on there. So check it out.
And so the very next day, I get a call like, "Bro, I'm out, man. I want to break up. You can have it. You know, take me off the LLC." Which he never was really on it, but you know, whatever. Just take me off. take me off of whatever. I ain't even mean to say it like that.
I get where you coming from.
I meant it like I didn't really have to do anything because we were still kind of developing everything. So we had like a partnership agreement.
I'm still in the beginning.
But we never really did the paperwork official, like with me and him on group. You get what I'm saying? And so I gave him my blessings, you know. And so then at that time I hit him up. I told him, I said, it can work now because, you know, I don't have to worry about him, you know, feeling like, you know, what you're doing, you know. And we ended up having a meeting and let everybody meet each other. What was it, on Zoom? I think it was Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom meeting.
We had a Zoom meeting. And then everybody was really excited, just kind of like locked into their part. So then at that point, I felt we didn't have nobody who's really, really specialized in marketing. So although I was doing a lot of the production, I really focused down on learning the different marketing tricks of today.
I left that totally to them.
So the Mr. Rolling that's their main. Okay. Now, where do you find the inspiration to create a beat and get it going? And I can take this from the Mr. Roll all the way down again, because I know all three of you truly are like in the producing and mastering.
I'm moody as fuck.
Okay.
like okay, so I'm a Cancer.
I was just about to ask, like, what is your sign?
I'm a Cancer.
Y'all both
Cancers.
Yeah, we both moody. I'm the
Cancers.
21st. You
Bless
the
your
7th,
heart.
right? You're the 7th. I'm the 21st. I'm moody as fuck. So like.
So you still closer to Leo-ish type of territory.
Yeah, I got
So
Leo.
you think you the king and you moody at the same time?
damn time.
Bless your heart.
Yes, I'm a special case.
I see.
So, but on the real, I will sit down, and it really depends on like how I'm feeling on what I'm gonna make.
Mm-hmm.
Like he will ask me like, "Yo, I need this vibe.
What up, though?
I need this vibe. I need this upbeat." Well, if I'm in a mood, I'm not making upbeat nothing. I'm gonna send you what I'm gonna send you.
Right. And if you like it, you like it.
You like it, you like it. Like literally, there was an album we did. He said he needed this vibe, and I changed the whole thing of the whole album because I just was not feeling that. And I was in the whole mood the whole time.
So you be like Beyonce when they tell her to be faster, you just slow it down.
That was the Reinvention album.
Yeah, the Reinvention album.
The Reinvention album was nothing like the Reinvention was supposed to be.
Okay. It was a reinvention.
Yeah, for sure. Like I literally, but that's how I produce. So like if I'm having a good day, I'm hyped. I come home. Guarantee it's some 808s. It's going crazy. Okay. I'm up there. You know, if y'all ever get a chance to see how Kanye West or oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name right now. Ryan Leslie.
How could you forget Ryan Leslie?
Yeah, how Ryan Leslie is when they're producing. Like that's my fat ass. I'm up there, I'm sweating, I'm like, I'm rapping and everything, like, oh shit, this house about to go, and that's just how it is. But if I'm in a somber mood, I'm not really feeling the day. It's raining outside and it's ugly.
You gonna get a summer walker type of feel.
That particular album that you're talking about, he actually concepted most of that album, which is rare for me because I don't let nobody write for me. I'm big on writing for myself and just hoping that, you know what I'm saying, it's personal. But literally, he gave me hooks along with ideas. Like when he had sent me the beat, he'd be like, "Yo, this is what we doing on this song." And I hear this hook. He'd reference it, and I go in and redo it my way, and then go from there. But he literally set the tone for songs and everything. Like that was the first for me. That was different.
Now, when it comes to like your albums, King, like Let the Truth Be Told, Sex Chronicles, R&B Love, like all of those, that was pretty much you two in the beginning stages.
Name those again.
Let the Truth Be
Let
Told.
the Truth Be Told, Sex Chronicles 1, R&B Love.
Oh, that was
You got the Reinvention, the Christmas album. Like, so
Sex
was that
Chronicles
mainly you guys? Because I know Games was on Sex Chronicles 2 heavy.
Those albums was a collective. That was kind of like in our experimental days. So a lot of those was Ralph. Like I said, my first producer, Chop the Boss, which is our cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Along with producers that I literally met on YouTube.
Okay.
So I would reach out to, like I would go, you go to YouTube and they say beats free here.
And the instrumentals.
But what I would do was I would literally email these guys and contact these guys and say, yo, I want to use this beat, blah, blah, how much is it for? Some of them would say, give me this much for the beats. Some of them would say, well, if you're doing some mixtape promo, you know what I'm saying, just use it and shout me out. So, the main producers that I used off of YouTube was shout out to Tony Sway. And, what was the other guy name we was using all the time?
Buddy from Arizona.
Yeah, he was from Arizona, but I forgot his name.
There's one good dude named
Digital Magic.
Yeah.
Digital Magic, Tony Sway. Yeah. So shout out to both of them guys because I literally built a relationship with them guys, and whenever I would record to one of their tracks, I would always send it to them first. What you like that? And they would be like, bro, you crazy, like you dope. You say you from Detroit, like. So I was kind of like blowing their minds too. And they were like, yo, man, when you post it, we gonna repost it.
Okay.
So I was getting love from them too. But yeah, all of those albums was out of those two guys was shot with brothers.
Okay.
And then those was in my days when I was dibbling and dabbling in the production too. So
Right.
said I produced my shit.
He don't never give himself credit.
Like that.
Right.
Both of these guys will tell you, like I sent Ty some stuff that I produced recently and was like, nah, bro, redo it for me. And he like, what's wrong with it? I'm like, no, I need that. Just put that sauce on it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, again, so when it came to, and I'm just gonna backtrack a little bit with you. When it came to your inspiration, you were really inspired by past producers and mix and masters from like back in the day, like Rick Rubin or like Devontae Swing. And you also mentioned you were more so in hip hop at first. So what was it about like Rick Rubin's method of like producing? Like what was it about, your inspirations that really caught your ear, and how did they help you develop your way of producing?
So as far as Rick, Rick did a lot of the early Run DMC stuff,
Beastie
Boys,
Boys,
stuff like that, LL Cool J,
right?
and so
He
we didn't have a lot.
LL Cool J first album, didn't he? The stereo. My radio.
You might didn't know that too.
Okay.
But it's funny because like the generation of today, they have millions of artists to pick from. You know, they every Friday they can go with this 10, 15 new albums dropping. But back in them days, you was getting probably 6 albums a month. you know,
Right.
It was only like maybe 1, 2, or 2 tours a year. That's why somebody coming to tour. You had Run DMC, Houdini, Fat Boys, and then like Curtis Blow, yeah, and then LL. You know, it was like the main artists that could
Kumo D.
Kumo D.
Oh, I say you gotta put Kumo D in the
well,
mix. Okay.
So Rick, just listening to like how he approached like using like drums and stuff and not putting too much in the track. So I got that. But Hank Shockley and the Bomb Squad really opened up my eyes to sonics as far as like using untraditional sounds to make melodies. And that really stuck with me. And then you got guys like Pete Rock who the use of soulful samples and stuff like that, like with the horns. He was like real big. His thing was like that's what he was known for. He had the crazy horns. So it's like fell in love with that. Now when R. Kelly and Jodeci, they the ones that kind of they had that church vibe in their music a little bit. And I always felt like church chords and riffs. I always felt them more than I felt the R&B that was going on at the time.
Still love the grimy feel.
Yeah, so when they came out, I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, that's with the R&B. Because I ain't gonna lie, it's funny because I do so much R&B now, but I used to make fun of R&B producers, R&B singers. I was bad with it. Like
Really?
if a producer made a beat with a keyboard, I teased them. I said, "Oh, you a keyboard producer? You ain't got to, you soft. You ain't got to." We was bad. We used to make raps and then we take the keyboard and bang your upside your head. It was like, yeah. So it was like crazy.
This nigga was a beat bully.
But then when Joe Season came out, I said, "Wait a minute." So then that's when I started kind of like wanting to mess with the R&B a little bit more. But I didn't really have a lot of R&B artists to practice on, so I never was really good at it. So that's why it's funny when we connected, because other than the Divine, I was working with him, but I had Dre Butters, so Dre Butters play a lot of stuff like that. But when I started working, in LA, I had to kind of like try to remember everything that I had learned from different people and put all that into one. And he's different than like the typical artist of today because he's like structurally he's like a old soul, and
Gotta do it this.
yeah. So like, but it reminded me of my love when I fell in love with Devontae's production and R. Kelly, And I was like, oh man, I could do that kind of stuff for him, And so boom, there it was. So yeah, all them guys, little bits and pieces from all of them inspired.
No, I'm glad you were like also tapped into like the more recent with you and the King. Like, what was it that really inspired you when it came to the different beats that you pushed for Sex Chronicles to a King? Like, what type of mood and mindset you were in at that time to make those beats?
Sex Chronicles was can I say it was done? It was created organically. Is that when something just kind of like naturally happens?
It definitely was organic.
Yeah. So it
wasn't supposed to happen.
It wasn't like he said, let's make an album.
Right.
Or let's do. We already had half of Sex Chronicles done just recording on GP, and then he said, "Man, this is the vibe that we're creating, so we might as well finish it." So then at that point, it was just filling in the blanks. And when I went to really study the first Sex Chronicles, it was very sensual. So I was trying my best to recreate some of that sensual.
Okay.
I don't feel like I really hit it. To be honest with you, and I told him, I said, man, I just can't get it, But he's like, man, but we still killing it. But I still I still feel like the sensuality of Sex Chronicle 1, I feel like I couldn't touch it. I tried, but it just wasn't there.
Okay.
The only thing I'll tell people that they say, well, Sex Chronicle 2, that it's more broad. You know what I mean? So I will say that, but I still feel like it's so like a lot of our newer music now is still me trying to get that. It's like a certain sound I'm trying to get them. I don't know. We probably got some songs like that now,
We
right?
definitely do now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We definitely do now.
What? How many songs do you have right now recorded?
3,700.
Yeah.
Right.
You talk about
Recorded, new or songs?
Probably this year 70, somewhere around there.
unreleased music. That's
I know it's a lot in the vault somewhere.
How many?
I know it got to be a lot in the vault. Like,
It's
just ready to come
Well,
on out.
what I have prepared. Let me tell y'all this. Let me just backtrack this a little bit. Sex Chronicles 1 was like what, 16, 17 songs. Sex Chronicles 2 was supposed to be a 15 to 17 song project. But because he was trying to get his best out and I was trying to get my best out, we decided we were going to do 50 songs and pick the best 17. So we had a listening party, and some of the numbers was just crazy. So Sex Chronicles 2 ended up becoming a 22 song project instead of a 17 project. So out of those 50, we picked 22. And it technically wasn't 22 because 2 of those was interlude and intro.
Yeah.
So we still had songs left over. We still got songs left over from Sex Chronicles 2, which is the album that's out right now. Y'all don't got it, go get it. Sex Chronicles 2 on all digital platforms. Late the Black Night. Go get that.
Good plug.
Please.
So,
Right?
so we still had songs left over from Sex Chronicles 2. But we still working. So I'm at like a 2-song minimum a day right now. Just whatever he send me, I'm sending it right back. So if he send me 3 tracks, you give him 3 songs back. Send me 2 tracks, you give him 2 songs. So right now, what we feel is ready for release is probably something that we're actually really considering putting out for 23. We probably sitting on like 54 songs. But if you want to add what's left over and all the other bullshit that I got in my book, I'm sitting on probably a good 150 songs. It hasn't been released or heard yet.
This man don't stop working.
No,
Can't
no.
stop, won't stop.
We know.
You know, it's crazy.
Oh, we know we're rap.
You know what's crazy too, like with me and his chemistry, is that it's like certain elements that I know inspire him, right? And there's certain sounds that he like, and there's certain keys that he real comfortable in. So over time, I quickly learned those elements, and so whereas a lot of times if you make a track for somebody, you might send them a track pack, a beat pack, 10 at a time or something like that. But literally, I only send him one, or like he said, 2 or 3 at a time. But a lot of times it'd be like 1 at a time because, and we it's funny because earlier on, I said we used to argue a lot, right?
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we used to argue real bad, right? Now I just let him win. So that make him mad. Like
You let him win.
Oh, you get real mad.
Don't give him that energy. Like, you ain't gonna, I ain't giving you that energy.
We both real stubborn, so it's like I can't really relate to that when we argue. I'm not gonna change his mind. He's not gonna change.
Now, what's your sign?
Ice.
Did he just?
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes
sense. He was stubborn though.
I never
Yeah.
said I wasn't.
Excuse me?
Oh, you're very.
I
Yeah.
never said I
You
wasn't.
realize you just admit that you.
I never
stubborn,
said I
right?
wasn't.
Okay.
So peep this as a brotherhood. older brother, younger brother, youngest brother. These two get into it. I get a call. Okay?
Yeah.
I get a call. Man, can you believe? I tried. Man, I was talking to a king of lake.
When you said, man, can you believe I knew who voice that was?
Can you believe?
Then it's king, bro. Hit me up.
Like 911, I gotta talk to him.
Man, he sent me this beat, man. I did the song. I think it's fine. But he's saying it's not that. And I just listen, I'll be in between. But I know what it is, it's passion.
I was gonna say passion, yeah.
It's passion for greatness.
But the thing is, it sounds like the King like, oh, I'm there, and it sounds great. And Gans probably was like, I hear something that you can bring out more from.
Absolutely.
Like, go deep, dig deep.
You brought up with an anomaly because that very rarely happens.
It very rarely happens. I put it to you like this. The chemistry between them two is so great, but the fact that it does happen is because they're both seeking greatness.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're both seeking greatness at any point in time, people bump heads.
Yeah, I want to say that's me and Jay.
And it's not a
we're gonna be like, but I want this so bad.
Exactly.
And Jay like, I want this so bad too.
No,
like, okay,
exactly. And it's not right. And it's not negativity.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Right. And it's nothing negative about it. It's the fact that the views or the effort at the time was like, yo, I believe I put my all into this, and you're telling me to do more. So now I'm a little bit perturbed or a little bit upset, but
that put the fire under my ass.
Exactly.
And then
sometimes you need that.
And then the outcome,
yeah.
The outcome is even better.
Y'all know what though?
But I'm not gonna lie. Like, to go back to the question that you asked, Ralph, when you said what inspires you to do music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, I would be lying if I said any other artist is out here. Like, what inspires me to do music is when he sends me something fire.
I believe it.
Like, whatever he sends me, that's what inspires the song that I do. Like,
what makes you like? When he sends you the song? How does your brain connect to that song? Like, is it something that you was pulling out of your heart, your soul, something that you may have went through prior to that day?
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
So one of our arguments was I was trying to do a lot of stuff, and when he gets a vibe, he wants to, like he said, he wants to go in and knock it out in perfection. Well, to do that, you can't send him an MP3, because if you send an MP3, then he's got to redo it when you send him the full session of the beat. So I was like, well, how I know you're gonna like it? You know what I'm saying? I can send you 10 of these and see if you like it. He said, if you just do you, I'm gonna like it. He said, so I literally have to, before I send it, I have to actually, because I mix the music. So our process is I mix all the music, and he mixes the vocal, and then Ralph do the mastering of the two. So my and he'll tell you my mixing process is very tedious, because I'm real. It's funny because the other day he did a song. He trying to predict what I'm gonna say, because he did a song, and I'd be like, man, okay, me and Ralph gotta fix this, we gotta fix that, fix this. Because I tell him to fix, he won't do it. He's like, no, you and Ralph can fix that in the back. So he gonna tell me, he gonna say,
I'm done. I'm good, love, and joy.
Yeah, man. It's a couple of instruments that was kind of low, man. So you might have to fix that and stuff. And I said, it ain't that bad, though. I ain't really. You really think that? He said, well, I don't know, man. I just thought that's what you was gonna say.
Okay.
Trying to predict what I'll say. So in the process of mixing it and arranging the song.
I'm so
sorry. I had to kind of put the roadmap out there. You know what I mean? Even how the song is arranged. I arrange it, everything, and then it's funny because without even like talking to him, he knows every part what it's supposed to do.
That would be horrible.
I'm so sorry. I just want to make sure Instagram getting it too. Forgive us. I'm so sorry.
Okay,
There we go. We going. I'm sorry.
We back. We back.
Because they love to come back after the live.
So he told me, he said, like what he said earlier, he said the tracks kind of like write themselves, you know. So I started listening to him when he said that like a year ago. He was saying that to me. And so with that formula, I just kept doing that formula. So when he gets it, it's already ready for him. The arrangement, pretty much everything. You know?
Okay. Now, how do you guys find the samples for certain songs? Like, how deep do you really go through them trenches of songs? Because you have to really have an ear for music and different like sounds to really be able to sample and mix and master and like rearrange it to your own.
So the funny thing about that is my production process is always different depending on what the goal is, what the focus is, right? So with him, you know, a lot of his stuff is not sample based, but some of it is. Like sometimes he might tell me, he's like, "Hey man, can you redo this song, whatever like that." But a lot of his stuff for me, when I produce it, it's about different sonics and sounds. So we had this little joke I used to tell him last year. I used to say, "Man, I'm a plug-in whore."
Yeah, plug in order. They go always every other week.
Yeah,
And I got a new plug in, bro.
Cause I like so new sounds inspire me as a producer, right? So if I see an advertisement or something, it be like, okay, you know, new R&B plug-in, got the newest chords, the newest fat sub basses and sim basses, this and that. I go check it out, and I get it. Oh man, then I start listening to the sounds, and I get inspired. And I tell him, yeah, I got a new plug-in, man. You got those sounds, bro. But then, it'll be about 3 days.
I got a new plug-in.
I'll be like,
Every other day though. He was on a roll for a minute. I'm like, nigga, another one?
Got another
Like,
one.
nigga, you got another one.
This one got all the symphony sounds.
Yeah, it was bad. So I tried to
This nigga the Splice King.
I try to give them different vibes, you know what I'm saying? So whatever's going to get that vibe, you know, specifically. So it could be a sample, and sometimes it could be just me just starting from scratch with some chords on something or whatever like that.
And then what's dope about us is I actually, because we both, well, I'm an old school head. Like, old school R&B is where I live.
Okay.
So I just said to him, I ain't even gonna tell him what it is, but it's an old joint. I said, bro, I want to redo this.
Give us like an idea. You don't have to tell us the name, but like what decade? What is it? Like is it a 70s sound that you heard?
No, it's like,
I mean, cause don't hate on them.
no, I ain't gonna tell him the artist. If I tell him the artist,
No art. That's what I'm saying.
know.
That's what I'm like. No
I'm
artist.
gonna
But
say-
just
He gonna know
that
already.
genre, like what year, what decade, type of ish vibe that you.
the genre is definitely R&B.
Okay.
That was like an 80s joint, right? It was in the
Okay.
80s. And I'll give you one more hint. Female.
Okay.
That's terrible.
It definitely made someone.
Say it louder for the people in the back. It's so how many females?
Right.
Okay, look.
But it makes you wonder.
Female.
Like
But
where?
that's a good general hint.
Female.
To you, though.
It makes you
Female
think. Makes you
That's
think.
no longer with us,
Oh, where's her song?
but was a true legend and was known for her big shoulder pads.
That's a
Big
better hint.
shoulder pad.
That's a better hint. Yeah, that's a
Okay.
better hint.
That's what's
Well,
up.
we're gonna let y'all sit and deliberate on that.
Right,
And
y'all
if you
figure
have
that
a
out.
guess while you guys are watching, go ahead and put it in the comments.
If you guess in the comments, I
'Cause
might guess might look you up in the trap.
All right.
Uh-oh.
You
Let me
get
go
an
write it in there. Let me go write it.
An official
Because I'm
gas
coming for
track.
a track.
An
You know
official
that?
gas
Yeah, already
track.
coming for our track.
Right.
Period.
An
I'm
official
ready
dance
for it.
track
Y'all
mastered
disrespect
by
Ari
yours
and
truly.
her
You know
vocals.
what I'm saying? Get it together.
I am artist.
Oh
and I take my craft very seriously.
Oh shit.
And
Sound like Miss Badu.
yes, I was going there. I'm glad you felt that energy. That's where I was going. I'm sensitive about my shit.
But she didn't want to do the
No.
the usher for us the other day.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
That's not.
You can do it. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead, hit it. Come on, let's see it.
Hold on.
Because I can hit it.
He can do it themselves.
I have.
Because he made it clear that he can rap and not sing. So, well,
It's
he can
not that I can
hit
hit this note. Ain't it?
Right.
Ain't it?
Right.
Come on, go ahead.
So, nah, we going back to the question. No, so he talked about what, saying inspires him as far as production and things like that. For me, like I said, I'm real moody and vibey. So it's like I will sit back and I will listen to samples of everything from R&B to African music to anything. And if it sounds good to me and I'm feeling it, I'm gonna try something.
Okay.
I'm trying. I'm putting my drums to it. I'm gonna put some keys to it. I'm gonna try and see how it comes out. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And what I love now about how we work right now, I will send him something that I tried, and I love the honesty and that and the feedback he gives me when it comes to certain things. He'll tell me like, it's okay. I don't know who would be, who would want to mess with that, but it's okay. And in translation, take your ass back.
Back to the studio. Take it back.
In nice form.
Hold on.
In nice form.
He made that sound so bad.
You gotta reclaim that. Like that's not how that.
No. What I would ask him is I would just simply ask him, do you hear on it? That's how I would say. I wouldn't say it like,
He would.
I don't know who's gonna mess with that.
And a lot of times,
I think it's just his
That
voice.
makes sense. That's an
I think it's just
understandable
a voice.
question.
so a lot of times,
Because when he says something,
Yeah.
I send it to one of our artists. I'm like, who do you hear on it? And then I say, and I always tell them, I say, it don't matter if I like it or not, because if they like it, they come up with a good song,
we're gonna rock with it.
It might be
Yeah.
great. Because I made some beats. I'm gonna tell y'all this. Y'all know this is gonna trip y'all out. I probably only like 40% of stuff that I made.
Get out of here.
You ain't lying.
Really?
You ain't lying.
Yeah, but he makes me like the song, so I be like, I know his flavor, but sometimes and then like if I go and he'll like I'll go a week or so, week and a half, and won't send him nothing because I be trying so hard to be great. You know what I mean? And if I make a bunch of stuff, and if I don't feel like it's great, I don't send it until he get on me. Like, man, what you doing? You took a vacation or something like that? I be like, man, I got some stuff, man, but I don't know. Then I send it. Then he'll do a song. I be like, dang, it sounds dope, man.
And he the same way though, because like
I'm even worse.
Is it the
he worse.
perfectionist in the both of you?
He's worse. He's worse
Like,
than
is it
Gas.
the perfectionist in you? Like, you feel like you can still hear something else that could probably make it better? Or?
Gas will literally
songs.
send me something that he don't like, just to see what I can do and see,
Okay.
what we can make of it. Like it might not be like his greatest, but he'll be like, yeah, see what you can do. This guy right here, bro, you literally have to go to his place of creativeness, and he's gonna play you a bunch of unfinished, probably verse hook, not finished, stuff that he's worked on. I'm like, bro, that's dope. Why didn't you finish it? I don't know. I didn't think you don't like it.
I'm horrible.
Like,
I
nigga,
erase more stuff than I make.
And
Get
then
out of
I
here.
literally had to tell both of them, nigga, stop deleting stuff.
I was like, you just say
I
it.
Like,
It's
stop
perfect.
deleting,
I had
bro.
to
Seriously, save it
because like people will come over here and sing, and they bloopers would be like amazing.
Y'all make me want to laugh at people.
No, I'm talking about like real artists.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
they'll come over here, but they so like picky and they don't like what they just did, the
Yeah.
notes and stuff. But
Hence, Abba J.
yeah, Abba was one of them.
What's up, Albert?
Yeah.
She is one of them.
Yeah.
She do not like, but she be like, oh my god. So I told him to stop. because I don't like when you piece it together. I told him to start saving everything that she do because she don't like nothing that she do.
But
But
the
it's
difference with
amazing.
that, the difference with that though is what makes that
Hey, Sean.
that particular situation so difficult is it's easy for us to tell each other to stop deleting stuff because we're a company. But when you're dealing with the artist that's coming in and they're literally coming in for hire, like this is their art, and they literally, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't have no ties to that.
But
Like,
you see, when you piece it together, the one that she told you delete, she ended up liking it.
yeah, I mean,
but you know what that is?
Like how he
that's
just said, he don't like certain stuff until you put your magic on it. Same thing with her.
That's because you know when you as a producer, and I'll speak for myself, and if Gans feels the same way, he can agree. As a producer, when you're making the beat, of course you can hear certain artists on it, and when you're making it, you feel a certain way about it, and it can be something that you like. Yo, I feel like my drums was incredible. My melody and the way I did this, the way this dropped, and this beat dropped over here, and the way I brought this in sounds perfect. An artist should be able to kill this. And you'll play that for 100 different artists, and none of them will be like, I love it. And your feelings low key will be kind of hurt. Like, fuck you, mean you don't love this? Like, do you hear these keys?
Okay.
Do you hear these drums? Do you hear this synth? Boy, you stupid. You stupid. This is fire. This is how you supposed to rap. This is how you supposed to sing on it. Like, that's how we hear it. But then we'll make something that got 2-3 sounds on it.
And they love it.
And they look, man, this is the most firest shit I've ever heard in my life. And you looking at them like, what? You love this? So it comes with, you know, time. It comes with experience. And it comes with understanding that, like he said, he had to tell me to stop deleting stuff. I would literally make a beat and be all into it up there. I'm trying to tell you, I'll be sweating, tired, like, yeah, this is shit. And then come back the next day and be like, I hate this, delete. He would have to tell me stop deleting stuff and just send it. Because now I fully understand it is up to the artist to hear it and create something to it. And something that you think is completely trash. And I've heard many producers on YouTube when they're doing, you know, things like this podcast say that, like, I thought this beat was trash. You know what I'm saying? They go, and I've heard many artists say too also, they did not even want to rap on certain beats that producers made them rap on, and the song itself came out to be fire. So you gotta understand, like, if we're doing our craft, now it's yeah, Raphael, just go upstairs, do you, make the beat, enjoy it. Yes, I do like a verse hook, and then I'll send it. Because now at that point, I can create whatever I want to off of that bass I have. He can tell me how long he needs it to be, what else he wants. Oh, I need this in it. Well, at this point, I already got the bones of it.
Right.
And I can create off of it. And that's what I've learned now in my years, because I've definitely, out of all the beats I've made, probably erased way more than I have right now. So,
facts. It's like they both perfectionists, so even I think I got more of the easier ear out of them because they're gonna go hard to try to make whatever it is they're creating perfect. And I'm like, fuck perfect, just send me what you got. Like, just let me work with it. And that's all. Like even like when I record with other artists or recording another artist, sometimes you go so hard that you lose the passion. Like I've recorded artists that try to hit the notes so perfect and make it so perfect. Like, okay, you hit the right note now, and it sounds beautiful, but when you hit it that first time, when you really felt it, you lost the passion. The notes is perfect, but now I don't feel it. And so I think that's kind of like where it be with them as far as production too. It's like, bro, you there. Like that vibe is set. Like, so
I think my issue too would be like if we make a song that we feel like is magical, that song becomes the enemy because it's like, I feel like I can't make the next song can't be not on that same level. But if you make something magical, if it's really magical, it's not going to be easy to duplicate that. So you might go months before you make another one that's like that. We just did one recently that we did one that I felt was like that. I think people who that hear it, they were blown away by it. And I told them, I said, man, I can put heart for heart. Yeah, that song messed me up. Like I was sitting there trying to make stuff, and it was stuff that was solid, but it wasn't like that. And I was like, it's not a lot.
Now, I do want to ask the question to all three of you. I really want your honest opinion. Again, I did bring it up at the very beginning. Anybody that's tuning in and did not catch it, we are interviewing Mr. Royal, Akinwale, and Gans. They are behind Black Knight Music LLC and Groovement Records. So I really wanted to get back into this one because it's again a very hot topic right now. A lot of different R&B artists are pretty heated. And if you guys don't know, Mr. Diddy, P Diddy, Papa Diddy Pop, Mr. Love himself, he pretty much made a tweet and he said it's R&B dead or things along that nature. Now,
Calm down, bro.
right? Don't turn red. Don't get mad. Okay, so for someone like Diddy to say something like that, for someone that was behind that, Uptown Records type of R&B vibe from the jump, and then Bad Boy and Faith Evans and Mary and 112. He was really a part of that whole 90s R&B vibe where these R&B artists from the 2000s, 2010s, and even today really found their sound, their voice, their inspiration. So for someone that has been such a blueprint to R&B, especially like that hip hop R&B vibe, how do you guys feel about someone like Diddy saying that, and what do you think about R&B today? And I'll start with Mr. Royal.
So how I feel about it is if you want to compare it to what it was in the 90s to now, R&B is there. Now for those who are in the music industry, for those who love music, R&B isn't dead. It's basically what mainstream is pushing right now, what a lot of people are listening to right now. A lot of people are listening to the rap. Then when it comes to certain songs, they're listening to, if it's R&B-ish, it's, if you're not at the top tier of it or have that good song for the moment right now, that's just what it is.
It's like a microwave type of generation. It's like a fast and it's here.
Exactly. So, you got your rapper singers, that's, kind of taking over. Then you have your, Seven Streeters. You have your, I can't think when I've been drinking. So all of them, right? You know what I'm saying? That's been in that vibe that, really has been pushing R&B. But when you compare it to what it was in the 90s, you just have to look how music was.
Such a gritty grind of it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Rap itself really kind of came into what it was in the 90s. In the late 90s, really, the middle to late 90s, R&B and kind of pop-ish music, was still what it was in the 80s, in the late 80s, and the early 90s. That's what we listened to. It had a message in it, of love, of, this is what's going on. Nowadays, you're not looking for that. If you're looking really to kind of turn up, you know what I'm saying? Like you had sex to the music to the R&B music that was made in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? You had a female come over, you playing Jodeci. You know what I'm saying? You playing that type of music. You got the oils lit.
Playing H-Town.
You playing that. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, you're not playing that. You playing Lil Baby. You playing Drake.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about for the younger kids. That's what they playing. Not you. You know, you know what I'm saying? You playing yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got yourself playing on surround sound. But
I'm not really. But go ahead.
But at the, you know what I'm saying? But that's just kind of what it is. So in the sense of mainstream, is R&B dead to an extent because you got a lot of female artists that's doing pretty good. And the best male R&B artist right now that's mainstream is who? It's different at each time.
So you feel like R&B kind of varies and it comes in and out in regards to popularity and mainstream?
Yes, it comes in and out. It's not that to me.
So right now that's not the popular sound.
No, it's not the popular sound. To me, R&B is never dead because you need that type of music. That type of music speaks to you on a different level.
That's clear. Pop stands for popular.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about pop or being popular. We're talking about R&B.
Yeah. Rhythm blues. So, yeah.
You might want to go to Gans because I got.
Oh, I know you gonna go. We know.
I'm done. Yeah, go ahead.
So my I disagree with Diddy as far as R&B being dead because if you got people singing and making songs and not rapping, it's R&B, you know. But I understand what he meant. Okay, so back in the '90s, if you couldn't play, if you didn't understand music theories or certain level, you couldn't produce R&B records. You couldn't, you know. And so, and then those singers were trained. They had vocal coaches. They practiced. You know, they had full bridges and vocal runs. And, they did things that's very technical in their singing back then and day. So remember when I told you I started getting discouraged because of the computers. Right. Computers kind of changed R&B for what it is now because now you have guys that can produce hip hop beats, which became the dominant force in music because hip hop took over pop and R&B, right? Yeah. And so by that, you got these guys that you could literally go to the computer, get FL Studio or something like that, Logic, and make a beat that people singing over it. It's not as melodic as because they're not playing really for real, but people's like, you know what? I ain't gotta sing like I sung it. I can dumb it down to fit this type of production. So you get a few people make a few hits, it gets popular. So now the record companies who invest the money, they say this is the hip hop sound, and then you have, especially like with the females, you get a couple certain type of deliveries, certain type of singing style that becomes popular, but it's really made popular because the record companies can make anybody star if they market. It's just a matter of how much money you want to spend behind it. So now all the artists, the younger artists that's in their late teens, early 20s, they're trying to mimic because they say, well, that's who got on. I want to mimic them, and the production has been dummied down to fit that style of singing. Nobody's looking at like, I need to go to school or I need to get vocal training because I got to sing like a Whitney Houston or like a Mariah Carey. I could sing, I could put auto tunes in my voice and just have like a hip hop singing vibe and I could make a hit. And so now that's just the predominant wave of music. It's still R&B, but it's just different from what we used to. And the record companies, because in their mind, this is what's popping, they don't want to invest in that type of sound. So if you come with that type of sound, they're not giving you millions of dollars. Right. You come with the more simplistic, less harmonic R&B ride, hey, yeah, we'll give you a bunch of money, we'll promote you and make you a star.
Facts.
So that's my view.
But who lasted though? Who got that good? Who lasted? The rappers that what's going on right now, they not lasting. There's only a top few that's lasting. The people that's singing that good R&B, that's doing that intimate shows, them intimate, them albums and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Look at Tank. Tank been in it forever.
And I wish he would even receive more flowers and recognition and and respect that he deserves because he's been here I know from my knowledge, 2000 and onward, he might have been here even before 2000. But from what I remember, as you know, being younger and knowing the music, I remember him in 2000, 2001, and I Deserve, and even on the back end, like a lot of people, I don't know if people know, but it's like even when it came to Jamie Foxx, when he came out, he pushed Unpredictable, and Unpredictable. If you are not an R&B like music enthusiast and you don't know about that, please research it because he did an amazing job when it came to assisting Jamie Foxx with that album. You know, like Tank, he's really progressed and prevailed, you know, well through these decades.
Yeah.
And
What
but it's only a handset that can really make
He
it.
never had the engine behind it though.
Right.
That's the thing.
You know,
Yes.
like people never really spend the money to because it's
They rather pay
as
number
bad as
right.
Tank is.
And
You
he
look,
is
you
great.
look at somebody like it hasn't been out as long. I would think like an Eric Bellinger, right?
Yep. Yes.
Who's dope. But
Very.
you would think, okay, Tank just is dope, but he got way more following than Tank. You know what I'm saying? Way more people listen to his music because of the engine that.
And he's still not even as popular as he should be. In all honesty.
And you gotta think, like, people like the Eric Bellingers, the Chris Browns, Ushers, they look at Tank. They call Tank the general. So
Oh, yeah.
these
He sets
guys,
the tone for all of them.
these guys is going to Tank
Mm-hmm.
for that
Yeah.
that comfort. Just as Tank went to Jamie Foxx and Genuine for that.
Right. Right.
So when it comes to R&B, let me just dive off into this. Let me just simply say this. If R&B is dead, who was Jasmine Jones? If R&B is dead, who was her? If R&B is dead, who was Lucky Day? If R&B is dead, who am I? You can't say R&B is dead because it's different. It's levels to R&B. R&B is like an onion. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big Jacquees fan, but I'll be a fool to say that Jacquees is not R&B because the way he approaches his music is R&B.
Yeah. Yeah.
Regardless if I like him or not, or if I'm a fan of him or not, his music sells. R&B is Summer Walker. And let's not forget that we're talking about her and Summer Walker, two of the strongest females in the game right now.
Yep.
That literally is going to pick up an instrument and say, cut the track off.
Mm-hmm.
So if R&B is dead, how are they doing it? If R&B is dead, how is me and Gas creating the music that we create? Like, one of the greatest quotes that I've heard in my lifetime was Ray Charles saying, you can't let the game or the sound or the vibe change you. Either you're gonna change with it, find your lane in it, and maneuver through it, or you're gonna get lost in the sauce. Because we still, like Usher's still making music, Chris Brown is still making music, and these guys are literally R&B. Right now, Drew Hill is touring off of what they made these guys. That, like, everybody knows who Drew Hill is. Everybody knows who Jodeci is. And we can't forget about the Joe. We can't forget, like you said, the Tank.
Yeah.
Can't forget about the Brian Midnights. I think what it is mainstream is not pushing what we consider, from where we pull from. Mainstream is not pushing that R&B sound. It's not that it's dead. It's just that it's not being pushed right now because, like you said, hip hop.
It's not the popular sound.
Hip hop is dominant. Right?
Exactly. hip hop has become the popular sound.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. So yeah, I think.
But the crazy part about it is they saying R&B is dead when half of these hip hop niggas is trying to sing.
Exactly.
So how's R&B,
Like the
how's
Future.
R&B dead? Drake was nominated in the R&B category. How?
And when it comes to Drake, and I'm not doing this to debate because I am a fan of Drake. I do personally feel when it comes to him, I think he does a great fine line of honoring and respecting R&B, but also honoring and respecting hip hop, and bringing both of those sounds to the mainstream with his popularity to bring it more notoriety.
Now both of these guys,
As well as Chris Brown too.
both of these guys will tell you, I'm so not a Drake fan. Everybody knows I'm not a Drake fan. But I will be a fool to say that Drake did not come in and dominate his own sound.
Mm-hmm.
I love Drake more on the So Far Gone Drake. When Drake first came out with So Far Gone, it was like
that was
amazing.
amazing. Yep.
I don't think Drake
I agree.
topped, even though he's selling more now, even though he got more recognition now, I still don't think Drake topped So Far Gone. Because it was just
You
creative,
gotta respect Take Care.
innovative.
You gotta respect the album Take Care. Because and I'm not saying you have to be the biggest fan of that album, but when it came to how he was really able to kind of mix and intertwine that hip hop side, but still that R&B side, it was amazing. It was like that's the album.
Everything you just said was So Far Gone.
It was definitely, but So Far Gone was the originator of it. But Take Care was the mainstream sound to honor and respect what So Far Gone originally was. Think about it. Because like Crew Love, when it came to The Weeknd, that was a great way to intertwine.
Somebody said Take Care is his best album.
Oh yeah.
To me, So Far Gone is his best. But that's just
Tay.
me. Oh, that's Tay?
Yes.
What's up, Tay?
So somebody said your son
Hey,
said.
Tay.
What up,
Thank you. Let them know, Tay. Exactly.
the
Take
reason-
Care was the album, okay?
Now that's funny.
But to get back to what you said about
Right, somebody.
to get back to what you to your question, your initial question, is R&B dead? I feel like, and I'm gonna say this from an artist standpoint and from a business standpoint. R&B is not dead. It's just not being pushed on the mainstream level as it should be. But to get R&B back to where it needs to be, instead of people saying R&B is dead, research your artist.
Thank you. And push how alive it really is.
Support the artist that does the
Seriously,
music
and that's the problem.
that y'all keep saying is dead. Like, it's so many dope, like here locally,
Yeah.
it's so many dope artists that's doing real music, that's got real vocals, that's got real talent, that's really singing, that y'all overlook right in your own city.
Yeah.
So it's like just research our artists, and it's a collaborative effort. As an artist, we need y'all support and y'all love to tell somebody, to share something, to tell another friend, to get the word around. Like, this artist is out here and he's dope.
Seriously.
If y'all don't do that, we'll never be heard. We just making music for the twos and fews that like what we do. We need love and support. Like, we need y'all push. We need for y'all to help us get what y'all saying is missing, and y'all know that we got. We need y'all to support that and push that out there so that the whole world can know that this shit ain't dead.
Now, personally, and I'm going to elaborate, and I would love for you to elaborate as well. When it comes to that whole R&B is dead topic, it kind of like frustrates me because when you sit here and listen to hip hop today, and especially like from you guys as well when it comes to producing, mixing, mastering, a lot of the samples that they're using are R&B songs to the hip hop songs. So it's like, how can R&B truly be there when hip hop is taking the inspiration of what R&B has provided and is still providing to the sound of what they're making today? Like even as simple as the most recent song with Nicki Minaj, "Freaky Girl," that was Rick James, and Rick James back in the day, that was the R&B. That was R&B. People can make it seem like it wasn't, but Rick James, he was a part of that whole R&B singing genre that really curtailed things over into different, levels as well. So it's like it's different levels to it. Or even like how we mentioned Drake, Drake, he sampled "My Heart Belongs to You" on a song, and I'm like, I am sold.
I don't feel like a genre of music can die.
No,
I feel like everything, just like the RAM of the cities that circulate.
Mm-hmm.
Like New York had daytime.
Yeah.
Then the West Coast had daytime.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even like right now, this is the best place that our city can be in because
Detroit is
for the first time, even though it's not R&B, but for the first time in a long time.
But it's coming. That's the thing.
Even with the rap sound of Detroit,
it's coming.
The Cash Dolls, Detroit is getting the most looks that it's got in a very long time since Motown.
You're right.
So it all even how the city circulates when they put the light on whatever that sound is, I feel like that's what the genres of music does. Because come on, man, who was the guy that steps out on this? He kind of got banned from a bunch of stuff. The funny dude. Little Nas X. When he came out with that country song.
Yes, he got a lot of pushback, but that became one of the biggest songs.
I ain't gonna lie, that was a hot song.
It was.
And who would have thought to put a country, other than Nelly? Mm-hmm, Nelly came out with Country Grammar. Them guys took a whole genre that nobody was touching.
Even though us as African, as blacks, created it, I'm not trying to do history.
That's why K. Michelle is going over to country.
Yes, country was originated by us lovely black country. Seriously, yeah. Monica. Yeah. So you're right.
So I don't think no genre of music can ever die. And the one thing that people overlook, the one genre of music that pays homage to every genre in music is hip hop.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
Because no other genre in music is sampling gospel music. Beyonce got church girl. Ain't no other genre in music sampling country music. Ain't no other genre in music sampling rock, funk, jazz. So even though hip hop is a unique type of a genre of music, they pay the most respect to all music than anybody.
Yes, they do. I agree. I
think it's just most people, they don't even listen to music no more. They just whoever's popular at the time. They just looking what their backing is, and like he said before, they don't care what words they saying. So they can just get an R&B track like y'all said, throw a couple of words on there, and then that's the song.
Yeah, I think.
So
I think that's a big part too. People just see back in the day, people actually looked for the music and waited. How people stand in line for Jordans and stuff now. It was a time when people stood at record stores and was waiting for certain songs to come out.
You're right.
To get that vinyl. Now.
Shantanese music.
Yes.
Okay.
Now today
don't know.
Right.
People just accept. They just accept what's being played. How many times have y'all heard a song and say, "This shit is garbage, I hate it"? And weeks later, because they done played it repetitively in your mind, it becomes, "Oh, lace my shit." Now you find yourself singing. Mm-hmm. Now you find yourself "Hey man, play that such and such," because it's repetitiously being played in your mind. know how to make a hit.
Yeah.
Like, if we had the right machine behind us, the right money and the right funding behind us, we can do bullshit all day, but they gonna make it a hit.
Another thing too that I noticed, like, you when you spoke on support earlier, I was thinking, I hear people say, like, I heard of the King of Legs, or I heard of this when like he do interviews, or if he meeting people that's like in the music industry that's like, you know, doing stuff out here, and they like, oh, I heard of you, you know, this person told me about you, this person told me about you, but they never like clicked on it, like, who was the King of Legs, until he literally was coming on to something that they had, like it could be a show, interview or something like that, and they always say like, yeah, I heard about you. But that's the thing. All it takes is like word of mouth, like they said. But you don't click the music. You don't listen to it. You don't support it. So if you have 15 people speaking on this one person, that, to me, that's gonna get my wheels turning. Like, let me go reach out to him. Let me go see what he got going on. You got 15 people coming and speaking highly of you, you know. But Detroit, they just don't. I don't care who it is. They don't.
When it comes to Detroit, I feel like at this point we do have that more popular sound that's evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's a blessing to see like different people like Babyface Ray, or like, you know, different rappers that are really like making their ways out of Baby. I think he did such an amazing job at seeing what was popular in the city, but making it his own and making it more popular for the main, like for that outside sound. Like, everybody wants to be so serious, and he was like, "I'm serious. Like, don't pull up on me, but I'm gonna still do my best." You know what I'm saying?
Baby is one of the most original artists that we have.
And Cash Doll. I'll give it to her. And she worked her butt off to get where she is today. Because in the very beginning, people even knew Cash Doll did not get the recognition or like notoriety she deserved at the very beginning. And I realized it's so unfortunate sometimes it's our main people that really got something going on. They have to leave.
Yeah,
from its own state,
and that was
and get the popularity from
that was my point that I was
somewhere else, and then they finally get the love, and then sometimes they still don't get the love.
And then when they leave, y'all could have supported the whole time that they was here.
Yeah.
But then when they leave, you want to, oh, I know her. Or,
I like
but
that.
you didn't spend not one record. You didn't hit a like button. You didn't subscribe to no YouTube.
Didn't care to learn a verse.
You didn't. And this is the great part. This is the great part about us and what we do, because us three literally can sit here and say, wholeheartedly believe it and stand on it. We know artists that the world ain't heard yet that was literally shit on these artists that y'all love so much.
Oh, I know. I heard.
Like,
oh,
come on. We got Costco, Big Gov, Chris Leonard, Chaz, P-Dot. Like, all of these artists that we know right here in our home city that literally was smash. Like, if we had the funding to put together our own tour, which is people that we love to work with,
it'd be crazy.
The most amazing show you will probably ever hear.
Yeah. Now,
yeah, because that I just literally I was thinking, like, where do people, like, if somebody wanted to like link up with y'all, give y'all information, like where they could reach out or, you know, find you guys, as Miss Lovely Big Fletch is going to take a like 1 minute little break real quick.
yes.
And then you guys can, like, you can start off around.
Where are you guys? What are your handles on social media? Are you on Facebook, Instagram?
So you can definitely find your boy on Instagram at Mr. Royal Music. Same thing on Twitter. You can definitely find my page on Facebook, Mr. Royal Music. That's where, mainly Instagram, that's where I do a lot of my, you know, social media work. Showcasing little beats and things like that I've done, or people I work with, I'll share things like that. But yeah, Mr. Royal Music, you can go ahead and search that on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me there. If you're trying to work, let's work. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely, with working with new people and what I'm saying, trying to get people talents heard to the masses.
And you can find me on Facebook at Mr. R&B Accumulator Black Knight. On Instagram, it's at accumulate underscore the underscore black with BLK period NIGHT.
Pause. What you should have been spelling is accumulate.
AKINYELE underscore the underscore BLK dot NIGHT. And on Twitter, it's just black underscore music.
Damn, I got all the vowels.
Yeah. Me on Instagram is Gans, spelled GHANZ underscore 314. Is it yeah, was it 314? 314 and underscore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gans 314 underscore, and then on Facebook it's Gans Grooves, and same thing on Twitter, Gans Grooves. Yeah, that's your boy.
And we also, me and Gans also on Facebook had the Black Knight Music LLC page, and we also have Movement Records page on Facebook. That we check the messages in there.
Absolutely.
Now, when you guys look for new artists, new acts, what is it that you guys look for when you guys are looking for someone to join Movement and Black Knight LLC?
Talent, of course, but work ethic is like it's got to be like one of the top two.
Work ethic for sure, just like you said.
And with me is work ethic along with dedication, loyalty, and handling business. Handling your business is one of the key things. And a lot of people hear that word business and they want to get shook and shy away from it. But when we say handle your business, it's very simple. It's literally the first steps of just handling. Number one, getting registered. That's the easiest thing you can do as an artist. If you're not registered, how are you getting paid? Getting registered and being dedicated to the task that is asked of you to do, because we putting in time and we putting in work and we putting in energy. You gotta kind of meet us in the middle too. So we giving you the dopest tracks in a high-end studio. You're gonna get the best quality sound. We need you to show up so we can do songs, so we can get a great body of work. So dedication, loyalty, work ethic, and business.
Or they just telling just to catch up?
I had a feeling because I was listening in because I know it's the feature of my future. Okay. The biggest hater of my future.
First of all, because you asked her to go on the booth and sing on our intro to What You Not Gonna Do podcast.
Yeah, because what you're not gonna do is make it seem like I don't have a little bit of a something
I'm
there.
just saying what you not gonna do is for what you not gonna do. So what's not gonna do is not.
But she and it's on our song and it sounds amazing.
She did.
I'm a good singer, talker type of person.
You had the dopest engineer, so you don't sound great.
I'll give you that. 2 points. 2 points. I'll give you that one. You know it's gonna sound good either way.
You know, she can hold a little tune.
I can. I'm not gonna hit the superstar, but just know I can hit that note.
No, actually, she didn't need a lot.
I didn't need that one. Thank you. That's what you're not gonna do. No, just okay. But honestly, again, I want to take the time personally, between both of us and What You're Not Gonna Do podcast. We really want to thank all three of you for really just taking this time out tonight, talking to us, dropping the gems you dropped. and the history behind what makes Mr. Royal, Akinle, and Gans who you guys are, and the sound that you guys are really pushing out there. And I really, really hope everybody that's listening, that have listened, and that will listen, you tell your friends, and they can get with their friends, and everybody can be friends, and the sound can continue to grow. Because clearly R&B is not dead. It's still alive. It's just based off of what you choose to want to go research and listen to. So, again, I know I missed out for like half a second, but again, before we guys let you go, Mr. Royal, again, please provide us your handles on social media, how we get in touch with you, if there's a website out there. Let us know. Because not only are you guys artists, you guys do have the platforms to also help other artists grow and develop over time too. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Once again, on Instagram it's Mr. Royal Music. Same thing on Twitter. Actually, same thing on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? It's Mr. Royal Music. You can find me. If you need to email me something, you know what I'm saying? You singing, you rapping, whatever it might be, it's Mr. Royal Music. Actually, you can email me at royalmusic313@gmail.com. Like I said, you know what I'm saying, willing to work, gotta have that work ethic, gotta have that drive, gotta be able to definitely be able to take constructive criticism. Definitely not trying to purposely tear anybody down. We're just trying to make it better.
How about also add on your list, you have to have tough skin in the industry.
Gotta have that.
Any industry.
Yeah,
For sure.
that's true.
I'm gonna keep mine simple. To reach Akinle, the Black Knight, or Gans, or Mr. Royal, you could just simply go to one of the two Facebook pages, which is Black Knight Music LLC,
Yep.
or Groovement Records on Facebook. And if not all three of us, one or two of us, you'll definitely catch us that way.
All right.
For sure.
Yeah. No, but again on Instagram, Gans GHANZ314_, and then on Facebook, Gans Groove. Same thing on Twitter, Gans Groove, and then the Facebook page is then Akinle. If you want to shoot an email and say something, it's Gans314@gmail.
All right.
So we shout out the team. We gotta shout out the team.
Please.
So before we get out of here, we gotta shout out. That's another thing that they said. While you was away, Jay asked us. I forgot what she asked us. What I'm trying to say.
Right.
But
Right there.
yeah. What does you said something about what does the artist need?
Oh yeah. So basically, what I was asking was, what do an artist like? What do they need? What are you guys looking for in an artist? That was my question.
Right.
Like basically, what do
So
you
the
guys-
one thing that I want to add to that I didn't add because I said work ethic. We all said work ethic. We all said dedication, loyalty, things like that. The thing that I left out is for artists. Find yourself a solid, good team that works for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that you're definitely going to need in this industry is like, I got the best team in the world. Like, if I was to go mainstream tomorrow, I'm taking my whole team. Like, you gotta have a solid team, which is find what everybody's strength is and let them do their thing in their space. I'm not the type of artist that is going to try to read over contracts, understand all the legal things in it. That's not my place. I would literally kill myself trying to do that. So find you someone that can do that and that's going to have your best interests at heart and roll with them. All the way down to the simple things as the producer that you're working with. If that producer don't provide the vibe that you're looking for and that's going to bring your true sound, then that's not the producer for you. You need to build you a team that's going to complement what you're trying to accomplish, whether it's from the creative side all the way to the business side. Hence, the business side, because you're entering into the music business where everybody does music, but not everybody has their business together. So,
He kind of preaching.
Period.
that's one thing. You know, this team, you definitely need the right team in place. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my team, which is these two brothers you see sitting here with me, business partners,
Yeah.
and the Royal. And we got Terry Martin, who handles management. We got Karita, the lady with the golden ear, who does A&R, music supervisor, gets his placements in some of the dopest movies. And we got Miss Val, who just holds everything down from the finances to whatever we need. And then, you know, we got a couple lawyers on deck, but we ain't even gonna say their names because y'all don't need to know that. We might have to do something for y'all. So yeah, we got a whole team.
We love you too, Karita.
So, you know, Black Knight Music, Groove Mid Records, we're here. And we about to, we about to show. I ain't even got to talk, we about to show.
Karita said, family, I love y'all.
That's good, Rick.
Yo.
You already know.
Yes. We got one last question brewing within the Just one last question. It's just one more. After that, we're gonna go ahead and let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your evening.
And I
Mr. Roy had his drink, so I know
I can enjoy my salmon, my
Right.
stuffed salmon, you know.
But
The question I had was, so what's up next? Like, you guys have an album on the way brewing or anything?
what can we look for?
What?
Since R&B is not dead.
Exactly.
Since R&B is not dead.
Drop it.
Man,
Drop it.
I'm gonna get a mastermind of
All
support,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you, at this point, all I'm doing is recording the music that he's singing.
Okay.
But he got the whole concept already laid out. He already know what the next project gonna be. He put me up on it, said, bro, is you with it? I said, yeah, let's do it. So now that's what we're working on. But I'm gonna let him disclose what's going on.
I don't want to get too many details, but you're probably seeing the trend of where producers are doing collaborative albums with artists, not just producer, but like the concept of the album is put together. So mostly it's hip hop though. You got Nas and Hit Boy, you got a couple artists here did projects with. So we actually doing an album together. I just give you the title to it. It's going to be called The Breakup. And it's a conceptual album, so it's not just us just making some dope songs. It's actually a whole concept about relationships, the tension that it takes to keep the relationship together, and what causes people to fall out of love.
Okay.
And so we working on the music dive and trying to find the exact balance. Like I said, we got a bunch of songs, and so we might take some of the ones that we already got if they fit, and then I'm trying to sonically get the sound that is the vibe of that was gonna be. So that's kind of like the next thing we're working on. So it's gonna come, it's gonna be dope, it's gonna knock y'all out,
Let me tell y'all why I'm over here chuckling so hard. Because when you said the breakup, in my head, it went back to the breakup of you and your partner.
No.
At first I was like, did he come for a record? Okay.
No, this
But-
R&B, this R&B.
When he said they broke up when the Kid Lake came around.
Oh, okay.
His first partner.
Yeah.
No, it's
Like, you know what
I'm like, did he come with an album?
Probably first quarter of 23.
Okay.
Something like that.
Check it out. And before we guys again let you go, thank you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's been amazing. And again, everybody that's watching, where can we find you guys when it comes to the music that's gonna drop? The breakup is coming. Look for it next year. Where should we be looking? And where can we look now until it comes?
I got this. Listen, gave y'all the Instagram handles, the Facebook, the Twitters, all that. Just go ahead and search Kingulay, The Black Knight, on all your digital platforms. You're gonna find all his music. And anything that's coming up, just follow us and you're gonna find out.
And y'all need to go in. Is that really on Apple? That one that I shared the other day?
What's a playlist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That playlist is called Sex Flow. What is it called?
Sex Flow.
That was okay. So Sex Flow, y'all, is a playlist of his songs, the sexual songs.
As you see, we like sex.
Okay? Let me tell y'all have to go on Apple Music if y'all have Apple Music and download that playlist. It's fire. And the first song is
Sex.
I don't know.
it's the first song that I shared.
I don't know what sex
Which one?
It's the sex playlist, so you know.
It's Like a Symphony.
Oh yeah, like that's off the count too.
Sex Chronicles too.
That's it.
Play your body.
Yeah, you didn't say anything like
Wait,
that.
we
Sex
gonna play your-
Chronicles.
we gonna
Listen,
play your body like
y'all
a
have to
symphony.
listen to
Yeah, your body
Like
like
a
a
Symphony. Sex Talk. I know.
Sex.
Because that was one of my favorite songs when I first came around. But a lot of I hear it now in the male dancer industry because they dance to that song. And yeah, they do.
Sex talk with my watch.
Yeah, they dance at it at Club Nasty. Go and catch Club Nasty.
You see, she know where they
Club Nasty, y'all catch that song. Sex
body
Talk.
rolls.
And also,
Shout out to Ashley at Club Nasty.
also on our digital platforms, we do have other artists outside of myself that we produce for, like Carmen Michelle. She has Summer Baby out. Bad Thing is out. I was wrong is
Shout out
it's the
Carmen.
latest, right? I was wrong is the latest. Also we have KJ Kimone 18 chapter 1 and 2. That's out.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we got a couple other artists that's coming out that we're working on. So
Drop AJ album.
Yeah, the Kingulay
of
Jr.
course, KLA Jr. Black Knight Music LLC.
Yes.
Start over now. For all you praise and worship people out there, go ahead and get you some Jesus in your life.
It's funny about AJ said, yes, when you produce my next album, I want it to be an apostolic worship experience.
All right
You
now.
sound just like him.
All right, Kingulay Jr. Hey,
You sound
AJ.
just like him. Shout out to Donna Stacks, my boo Donna Stacks.
Yes,
What's up,
shout out
Stacks?
Donna.
Yo.
But thank you guys again. I mean, it's been amazing. We've definitely kept you guys and talked to you guys. To your ears could probably almost fall off, but it means a lot to both of us, honestly.
For sure.
Thank you for being a part of this growth and process. What you not gonna do, podcast?
What you not gonna do?
And
Because
also,
what you not gonna do is not support Black Knight Music LLC Improvement and what they got going on in R&B.
and let them know this Friday.
You let them know right
Yes, you let them know.
This Friday it's gonna be the R&B breakdown with Black Knight Music LLC Improvement Records. B and Gans is gonna break down some of the songs that might potentially make the project that we just talked about. The breakdown.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
Y'all heard
check
it
it
here.
out.
Y'all heard it here on What You Not Gonna Do podcast first.
Exclusive.
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 But thank you guys again.
I love our hype man.
Okay.
I love our hype man. Because our hype man is, you see him over there?
But thank you guys again. It's been amazing. Again, Mr. Royal, Kingulay, Gans. This is What You Not Gonna Do podcast. Thanks again. And you guys, everybody that's been hanging with us, is gonna hang with us and watch in the future. Thank you. Have a great night.
Also, before we leave, go and subscribe to our YouTube page if you guys have not done that. Please, that is very important. We need everybody to go and subscribe to our YouTube pages. What You Not Gonna Do, and it's WHATCHUNOTGONDO podcast.
Yes.
Subscribe,
What
hit the
you not gonna
notification,
do.
all that.
Share,
Like, share,
love.
subscribe. But yes, tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. Let your mama know, let
Yes.
your daddy know, let your sister know. Your uncle might want to know too, so you might as well go on ahead and send him the text as well.
Whoa.
But again, have a great night, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you again to our guests, and enjoy the rest of y'all Wednesday night.
Hump day.
Peace out. Thank you.
Time to do this.